Chapter 411. That afternoon, halfway through class, the forensics lab sent someone to look for Cutie. They asked her to help out at the forensics lab after class. Because of a shortage of manpower recently, the professor needed her a lot. But because of the post, Cutie was mocked from all sides. You should call the professor at the forensics lab and tell him about Cutie's situation. How can someone like her be the professor's assistant? Cutie's tutor did not let her go this time. She warned Cutie directly. You are a student after all. Since you are in school, you should focus on your studies. Don't go out every few days. How am I going to explain this to the other students? Teacher, the professor only told me when class is over. Are you going to control my time too? Cutie retorted. Look at your arrogant attitude. You're just a freshman. Don't you know what humility is? The premise of respecting others is that they respect me too. Cutie was neither humble nor pushy. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Wait. Feng Shanshan and the other 4 girls walked towards Cutie. You have really opened my eyes. You were born with 2 fathers from the start. We really can't afford to offend you, right? The teacher is educating you for your own good, but you are still trying to take advantage of me. Who gave you the courage? Cutie's expression was not as calm when she saw them walking towards her, but she laughed. Your house is in the south of the city. The internet cafe is in the north. It is a 3-hour drive. You are really generous. The girl's expression changed when she heard that, but Cutie did not say anything else. She turned and left. What did she say to you? You were so scared. Did she threaten you? The girl shook her head. She thought about it carefully and felt that Cutie was trying to trick her. Cutie did not have any evidence at all. Otherwise, if she knew that she went to the internet cafe in the north of the city, why didn't she just post the evidence? She was clearly trying to scare her. So, she felt at ease and continued to think of another way to frame Cutie. And their mission was to chase the annoying Cutie out of Enchanting University. After class, Cutie went to the forensics lab to help the professor examine the newly discovered dismembered body. When the professor saw her, he asked, "Did you suffer from campus violence?" Cutie was stunned for a moment before she smiled. "Professor, do you still care about this? You're actually very gentle. You just don't like to interact with others. In the eyes of others, you're a little unsociable. Plus, your relationship problems have given you a halo, so it's normal for you to be ostracized." The professor answered Cutie's question as he pieced the corpse together. Then, "Professor, do you also think that I'm the kind of person who posts on the internet? You have classes in the day and come to my forensics lab at night. When you go home, you have to spend time with your boyfriend. I really can't think of any other time for you to do such things," the professor replied. "Just solve it properly. Don't worry too much about it." "Professor, how did you know? Your tutor called me and asked if I wanted to change to a student with better grades." Cutie was helpless after hearing that. To think that her instructor was so vengeful. Do you know what I said to her? She has no bearing as a teacher. She's already a few decades old and has no ability to distinguish. I hope she'll be fired soon. Thank you, Professor. What are you thanking me for? Hurry up and help me. This is a serial murder case, and the higher-ups have given us half a month to solve it. The police have brought back a whole car of corpses, and we have to ascertain the number and identity of the victims as soon as possible. All right, Cutie and the professor worked for 6 hours, starting in the afternoon, before they finally pieced the corpses together. There are 2 males, 2 females, and a child. In other words, a family of 5 was killed. At the moment, we're missing the heads of the 5 corpses, the right hand of the male, and the internal organs of their bodies. It's as if they were slaughtered fish, completely hollowed out. The way the corpses were cut open is also very strange. It's not from the front, but from the side. The professor nodded when he was done reading and told Cutie, "You've worked hard today. Go home. I'll handle the rest." Cutie nodded, packed her things, changed her clothes, and left the team. Outside, Shang Xiao was driving his little one to get off work. "Why are you here all of a sudden? I called you, but you didn't answer. It's a big case, and I've been piecing the corpses together all afternoon, so I didn't pay attention." Cutie replied. How did the school react today? Chi did not dare to be rash when she remembered her promise to Sheng Xiao yesterday. Hence, she told Sheng Xiao everything that happened in school today, including how her tutor was troubled. Sheng Xiao did not say a word after hearing everything. Even so, his heart was in turmoil. He could not bear to see his little one being wronged. When she released the evidence tomorrow, he would first make an example out of the girl who framed Chi-Er. As for Chi-Er's tutor, he had other ways to make her disappear. Did she really think that he could not protect his woman just because he was not the crown prince? The next morning was the third day that Chi had promised to release the evidence. Many people were waiting in the forum to see if Chi would really release the so-called evidence. After all, the culprit did not come to claim the post that humiliated her tutor from start to end. The campus group was also in an uproar. Is Chi coming or not? Isn't she still in class? Will she release the evidence? I think she's the culprit. I also agree. What evidence can she produce? Isn't she just trying to divert everyone's attention? Feng Shanshan and the others were always online and scrolling through the campus forum because they wanted to know if the coward Chi really had evidence. However, there was no news from Chi even afternoon. Everyone cried out in disappointment. I should have known it was Chi's trick. I shouldn't have trusted someone like her. She even dares to diss her tutor. Chi, you should just come out and apologize. It's so embarrassing. However, when everyone went to lunch, Chi's post was finally updated, and the students who were having lunch suddenly saw the so-called evidence. Look, everyone, Chi has updated her post. Chapter 412. Then, the IP address of the poster was shown, followed by the address of the internet cafe where the IP address was located. Then, the video of the culprit entering the internet cafe to post the post was shown. Chi was also considerate enough to show the high-definition photo of the girl and the name list of the forensics faculty. That way, everyone would have an idea. What was even more ridiculous was that the video of the girl posting in the internet cafe was zoomed in. While her body blocked part of the video, the nickname was clearly the one who had insulted the lecturer. The truth had suddenly been revealed in broad daylight. Damn, this is irrefutable evidence. Chi actually managed to find it. So Chi really is innocent. That's amazing. Full marks for Chi's counterattack. Those who were watching the show were completely satisfied after seeing Chi's evidence with their own eyes. After all, it was in line with the audience's mentality to watch a good show. What was even more unexpected was that Chi did not care about the reputation of the culprit at all and directly zoomed her photo and name on the computer screen. It was hard not to notice. Feng Shanshan and the others' expressions changed at once when they saw it. The culprit, who was posted on the school's website, quickly covered her face and left the cafeteria to return to her dormitory. It turned out that what Chi said yesterday about the incident in the north and south of the city was true. She had the evidence, but she did not release it immediately and was waiting for them to let their guard down. The girl felt a chill down her spine at the thought. How was she going to stay in school now that the matter was exposed? What should she do? The lecturer looked embarrassed when she saw the result. She had really lost her head in a moment of anger, which was why she really thought that Chi was the culprit and even called the forensics lab's professor. The shame in her heart was pouring out uncontrollably. How could this be? How am I going to face this student in the future? That afternoon, Chi went to class as usual. However, the girl who posted the post was not in the classroom, and the lecturer was even more embarrassed than before when she saw Chi. Only she knew the reason. The lecturer wanted to find a chance to apologize to Chi, but Chi did not seem to care about her. After class, Chi wanted to go to the forensics lab again, but was stopped by Feng Shanshan and the others. Chi, you really are a scheming B*TCH. Why didn't you release the evidence when you had already collected it? Why do you have to wait for 3 days? You're just playing to the gallery, aren't you? Chi looked at the two of them and Feng Shanshan behind them and smiled. I can release them whenever I want. Why? You want to be my boss? Don't get too full of yourself. Just wait and see. With that, The three of them were about to leave, but Mu Chi stopped them. I've seen the writing style of the post and the girl's writing style. I don't think it was written by one person. There should be room for further investigation. What do you think? Mu Chi asked. Feeling guilty, the other two hastened their steps and left. It was then that the instructor approached Mu Chi and said, "I'm sorry, Chi. I've wronged you." "That's fine." The professor didn't believe it anyway. Mu Chi replied sarcastically. Sure enough, the mentor's expression was extremely ugly. "Now that it's out in the open, what do you want to do with that classmate? It's up to the school to decide. I don't have that much authority, and I still have to go to the forensics lab. Goodbye, teacher." What a tough bone. It's so hard to chew. After all, the instructor never thought that Mu Chi could be so stubborn. Meanwhile, Feng Shanshan and the others quickly comforted the girl who was hung when they returned to the dormitory. "It's fine, it's not a big deal. I'll get my dad to talk to the principal. He can get a lighter punishment for this." "But it was the idea of the three of us in the first place," the girl said, sobbing on her bed. The girl sat on the bed and cried while saying, "Why do I have to bear the consequences alone after it happened? Well, everyone's scolding you anyway. If you expose us, you'll be scolded by three people. We can't stand that little bitch Mu Chi, and if we're all exposed, how are we going to deal with her in the future?" It was true that three people make a tiger, and the girl who posted the post was clearly the dumber one, and was used as a gun by the other two. Of course, Feng Shanshan was the smartest person in the matter. She did not have to do anything, and just watched as others risked their lives for her, and might even be punished. It was a pity that the matter would not be over so easily, going to the principal to settle things. This time, it was up to Sheng Xiao to play a more advanced trick behind the scenes. The incident kept spreading on the school's website, and the girl did not show up for class for 2 days. They were all in a small group, and the other two went to and from class as usual, as if nothing had happened. Of course, they kept their promise and asked the parents to talk to the principal. Framing a classmate could be severe or light, and could be exempted from punishment as long as one could find a suitable excuse. That was why the principal was very straightforward in his reply. But no one expected that Shang Xiao would do the same as Feng Shanshan and the others. Of course, he did not show up in person, and instead sent Su Che to deliver his and Grandpa Shun's verbal message. The principal was about to turn off the lights and go home, but an important guest came to visit. Soon, Su Che entered the principal's guest room, and the principal breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that it was a young man. He asked, "What can I do for you, sir?" "I'm Sheng Xiao's assistant." Su Che introduced himself. The principal knew at once that he was here for Mu Chi. But Sheng Xiao was in an awkward position now, and he was no longer the crown prince of Huangyao. He could not intimidate others. "Well, what can I do for you? I'm sure you won't be lenient with Mu Chi-Chi's case because of a friend's request, will you?" Su Che asked. "Well, it's actually not that serious. Moreover, the girl has received the punishment she deserves now that the matter has been exposed. It seems that the headmaster is not afraid of Mayor Shun and our old chief. Mu Chi is the granddaughter the old chief dotes on the most, and the mayor and Mu Chi are like father and daughter. I came here today because the Shun family asked me to. Of course, the most important thing is my boss, Sheng Xiao." "Well, what do you mean, Mr. Sheng? Are you going to punish her severely?" The principal's gaze was rather frivolous. Clearly, he could care less about the Shun family. But what about Sheng Xiao? There was nothing to be afraid of, was there? Chapter 413. Of course, I don't mean that. Well, have you heard of Zhongting, headmaster? Su Che asked the principal again. The principal paused and said, "It seems to be a rising military enterprise. If you've heard of Zhongting, why aren't you afraid of Sheng Xiao? I think you should be more wary." With that, Su Che took out a photo of Sheng Xiao and secretary he playing golf together. The principal jumped in surprise when he saw it. Why isn't there any news from the outside? Because Chief Sheng is keeping a low profile. But even if he is, I hope that you'll treat him with respect. What do you think? Of course, you could insist on your own opinion and not believe what I say, although it would be a little awkward when the time comes. It would be weird if the principal did not understand such a strong threat. Our CEO doesn't need special treatment from you. As long as this matter is dealt with according to usual practice, it will be fine. I understand. The principal quickly whipped out a handkerchief and wiped the sweat off his forehead. After all, he knew very well that the Shun family in Zhongting would be the most prominent family in Jianchuan in the future. Moreover, the frightening thing about Shang Xiao was that he could turn something rotten into something magical at any moment. Moreover, Chief Xing doesn't want the outside world to know his identity, and hopes that you can keep it a secret, Headmaster. That I can do. Well, we'll be waiting for your news. With that, Su Che even reached out to shake the principal's hand. He did not think that he was shockingly strong, but saw that the principal's entire palm was white when he pulled his hand back. He was a tough nut to crack. The principal felt cold sweat all over his body. He could not afford to offend either side. But if Su Che was telling the truth, Shang Xiao was certainly more frightening. This matter must be handled properly. Feng Shanshan's clique thought that they had already spoken to the principal, and all they did was find an excuse to apologize and say that it was April Fool's Day in advance. They did not think that the matter would blow up so much and would cover it up a little. Even so, would things really go as they wished? Don't worry, Nuanyuan. We've already arranged things for you with the principal. After this matter blows over, no one would notice you. The girl called Nuanyuan believed in her best friend. However, the school still had to make a decision on the punishment. They had thought that the matter would be swept under the rug with an apology. However, the female student had framed a fellow student and caused a huge negative impact, tarnishing the reputation of her faculty. That was why the school had decided to give her a demerit, and she would have to publicly apologize to Mu Chi-Chi and the teacher involved. A demerit was tantamount to a stain on a student's record. Therefore, the school would not consider students who were punished for any further studies. After seeing this result, the small group was dumbfounded. Hadn't he already gone to work with the principal? Why did it still become like this? When this result came out, the girl named Nuanyuan completely lost her balance. It was clearly the idea of the three of them, but now she was the only one who had to take the blame. The other two knew that she was upset, so they tried their best to flatter her. However, no matter how prepared they could not prevent Nuanyuan from returning home. Could they? She cried and told her parents what had happened. Her parents slapped her twice. Are you crazy or stupid? How could you do such a shameful thing and take the blame for the other two girls? They are clearly using you. Can't you see? Moreover, you still have to do such a low-level thing like framing a fellow student. You wasted my money to get into such a good school. Go apologize to Mu Chi-Chi. Also, don't hang out with your small group anymore. Make this matter public, and no one will have a good ending. Let my daughter take the blame alone? What kind of rubbish parents taught a rubbish daughter? All in all, Nuanyuan thought about it all night and felt that her parents' words made sense. Why should she be the only one crying when something happened? Moreover, she had noticed more than once that the other two and Feng Shanshan were having fun behind her back, never caring about her feelings. Instead, it was better for everyone to be sad. So, the next morning, Nuanyuan was waiting for Mu Chi-Chi at the school gate. When he saw Mu Chi-Chi coming in from the school gate, he walked up to her and said, Mu Chi-Chi, I'm sorry about this. I apologize to you. Mu Chi-Chi looked at her and then at her parents behind Nuanyuan. So, her parents came with her. Perhaps that was why she had the courage. The punishment is out. I have gotten my justice. Since you have apologized, I won't pursue it anymore, Mu Chi-Chi said honestly. I just hope that you won't do such senseless things in the future. You're an adult now. Be more mature. I understand. I will give you an explanation. Nuanyuan said sincerely to Mu Chi-Chi and returned to her parents' side. Then, she posted the video she had recorded at home on the school's website. The framing of Mu Chi-Chi was actually planned by me and the other two girls. At that time, we just couldn't get used to Mu Chi-Chi's arrogant look, so we want to teach her a lesson. I never thought that things would develop to this point and that I would be directly exposed. Perhaps this is what they mean by if you don't want people to know, don't do it. I'm posting this video today not to shirk my responsibility, but to the other two masterminds, please step forward and say a few words. After the incident, you let me take responsibility for the whole thing on my own. I feel like I can't handle the burden. Since 3 people are in the wrong, please step forward bravely. My 2 best friends, Fong Rong and Lu Jingjing. After the incident was posted, the school's website exploded again. This was a godly plot. One person implicated a small clique. This Nuanyuan will come out and take the blame. After the appraisal, the other 2 cowards dare not come out and admit it. Damn, cliques are so powerful now. They don't even need to resort to such lowly means to bully people. The freshmen are so free. The other 2 girls almost exploded when they learned that they had been exposed. None of them expected Nuanyuan to have such a trick up her sleeve. And Feng Shanshan, whom they had been supporting, was nowhere to be found. Chapter 414. Mu Qiqi saw what happened to those 3, as well as the disdain the entire school had for them. That was probably Nuanyuan's so-called explanation for her. However, Mu Qiqi did not have the time to waste on them, because there was new development in the case of the family of 5 that was wiped out. The 5 people only appeared to be a family, but after a DNA check, it was found that they came from 5 different families. However, the police did not receive any missing person reports around the area where the bodies were found, so the case became even more mysterious. The fact that the 3 of them could deal with each other when they fought each other was a relief for her, and she did not have to do it herself. Still, everyone was standing up for Feng Shanshan, but she was indifferent when her friends were in trouble. She went to class as usual, but this time her followers seemed to have changed. Although Feng Shanshan was not involved in the matter, and there was no direct conflict between her and Feng Shanshan, Mu Qiqi was wary of the girl in a way that she herself could not understand. With the truth revealed and the school meting out a corresponding punishment, the matter seemed to pass peacefully. However, a few days later, the tutor of Mu Qiqi's class informed the students that she was pregnant and that she was planning to quit her job and go home to nurse the baby. Mu Qiqi found it very sudden and could not help but think about what happened this time. Finding it very strange, Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao when she got home, "Xiao Xiao is my tutor. That's your tutor's own decision. She has a guilty conscience." Sheng Xiao answered Mu Qiqi. "She must have heard something from the principal, so she's afraid. Have you been to our school?" "No." Sheng Xiao answered without looking up. "Then Su Che must have been there. Otherwise, the matter with Nuanyuan's clique wouldn't have been resolved so smoothly." Mu Qiqi figured out the connection. Yeah, Sheng Xiao never hid his love for Mu Qiqi, and there was no need to hide such things from the little one. Still, he had to carefully investigate whether Feng Shanshan was in contact with the Sheng family. The next day, the new tutor was already in place, and the 3 girls who had caused trouble for Mu Qiqi had all applied to change faculties, probably because it was too embarrassing. Right now, Mu Qiqi's main focus was on the 5 corpses. Who were those headless corpses? What kind of grudge did the murderer have against them? Most importantly, how perverted was the murderer to kill 5 people and make a family out of them? When class was over, Mu Qiqi rushed out of the school. However, Feng Shanshan stopped her and whispered into her ear, "I'm not done with you about my friend." "How is it going to end?" "You'll find out soon," the man said, brushing past Mu Qiqi. However, Mu Qiqi did not respond to her. Feng Shanshan was a person who strived to be first in everything. She was aloof and proud. She always watched others fight for her, while she was too lazy to do anything herself. Compared to that, it was really terrible. There was no need to mention how bad her popularity in school was. If she really went against Feng Shanshan, wouldn't she be screwed to death? After all, she had nothing but Xiao Xiao. Soon, it would be Gu Xiling and Sheng Kai's wedding. Although the Sheng family was busy, the 2 involved never looked at each other in the eye. Whether it was looking for a new house or ordering a dress, they were doing it separately, with no intention of being with each other. Third brother could not help sighing when he saw that. What's the point of a couple like you getting together, even before marriage? Since 8th brother doesn't want it, it all falls on me. Sheng Kai answered his younger brother. "You could refuse like 8th brother, and then my house would be burned down." Shankai laughed mockingly. Actually, it's not that bad. At least, Gu Xiling is beautiful, and there's something redeeming about her. Third brother shook his head, feeling upset inside. That was why he wanted to have a drink with Shang Xiao. Second brother, if there's really no way to change things, you could cultivate your liking for Gu Xiling like before. Shang Kai shook his head. Before, he did not know Gu Xiling's heart because he did not know her well. Now that he knew, he could only marry her and keep her as a vase. Or was he supposed to open his heart to Gu Xiling? Knowing that Shang Kai did not want to get married, Gu Xiling came to him a week before the wedding. I know you don't want to be with me either. It's too much to force us to get married. That's why I want to come to an agreement with you. What's the agreement? Either way, your grandfather wants you to marry me so that our families can use each other's background to carry on the family line. After we get married, we should have a child as soon as possible. And when the child is a year old, we would divorce amicably. The child would belong to the Sheng family, and you could find a new mother for the child. That way, you wouldn't have to look at me for the rest of your life. Shinkai did not say a word as he read the agreement, but it was clear that he was thinking seriously. I don't want an answer now. I'll give you time to think. I'm just afraid you wouldn't be able to get a divorce when the time comes, especially if you have a child. That was Sheng Kai's concern. I would have a way to get away when the time comes. To be honest, Gu Xiling's suggestion was wonderful to Sheng Kai. After all, he really did not want to face Gu Xiling for the rest of his life, and he believed that Gu Xiling thought the same. That was why he did not think for long before he agreed to Gu Xiling's proposal. 1 year after the child is born. Just 1 year. With that agreement, the couple did not feel that the wedding was that torturous because both of them had security in their hearts. But Sheng Xiao won't come to our wedding, will he? The Sheng family is now completely under my control. From now on, he will never return to the Sheng family, Sheng Kai replied. Even if he wants to, I won't be soft-hearted. Since you've already agreed to my contract marriage, we should be more like husband and wife in the future and cooperate more tacitly. From tonight onwards, let's move into the same room. This way, we could get pregnant faster. Usually, a girl would be very secretive or embarrassed to ask a boy out. But Gu Xiling did not hide it all. There was only one reason. Chapter 4:15. Why would I reject you if you don't mind being a girl? The saddest thing in life was to be forced to live together despite knowing that they would become an unhappy couple. Every cell in Gu Xiling's body would reject the thought of kissing and sleeping with someone she did not like. She was even a little disgusted. But she had hoped that Sheng Xiao could help her. But Sheng Xiao was willing to abandon the Sheng family and have nothing to do with her. That was why she was in her current predicament. Wasn't that man hateful? How hateful? That night, Sheng Kai packed his things and moved into Gu Xiling's room. Old Sheng was delighted when he learned about it. He was naive enough to believe that he had brought them together. Even so, third brother could tell from his brother's expression that he and Gu Xiling must have discussed it or made a pact. Otherwise, why would Gu Xiling be willing to share a room with second brother when she could not be bothered to look at her brother 2 days ago? It did not make sense. Feeling depressed, third brother drove to Sheng Xiao and Muqiqi. While Papa Sheng and Mama Sheng were resting, the three of them drank in the garden. I saw second brother moving into Gu Xiling's room tonight. It seems that they are sharing a room. Didn't you say that second brother likes Gu Xiling? Third brother shook his head even as he sipped on his red wine. I could tell that second brother liked Gu Xiling at first, but it was probably only because of her looks. Later, Gu Xiling gradually revealed her arrogance and aloofness, and showed disdain and contempt for second brother. That is why second brother's heart slowly turned cold. Those two are really weird. Muqiqi was silent for a long time after listening to third brother's description. Are you worried for yourself, third brother? She asked after a long time. Both old Sheng and second brother have changed a lot in the family. I don't know if it would be my turn in the end. From now on, we'll help you keep an eye out for good girls. This way, you can at least take the initiative. Little sister-in-law, don't say that. I've already thought about this. In the future, if there are any family banquets, I'll try my best to join them. Wouldn't it be perfect if I met the right woman? With that, Third brother chuckled. Second brother's wedding is on the 15th. You won't be at Sheng Mansion then. I wonder how the old man will slander your family that day. Whatever, Sheng Xiao answered casually. That's true. You even allowed rumors of being bullied by 3 aristocratic signs to spread, let alone the genuine humiliation from the Sheng family. Third brother drank a lot in the yard that night. He was so drunk that he lost consciousness. Sheng Xiao asked Su Che to send him home, and it was Sheng Kai who came out to pick him up. Sheng Kai had never seen Su Che before. He only thought that third brother had gone somewhere to get drunk, and that Su Che was the bartender there. Of course, Su Che wouldn't explain. After completing the mission, he immediately returned home. Second brother, aren't you in the bridal room? Helpless, Sheng Kai had the butler send him back to his room. Still, when it came to the bridal room, he and Gu Xiling hadn't taken that step yet. After all, there was still a barrier in their hearts. Spring in Jianchuan was still chilly. After Mu Chi-Chi finished her bath, she returned to the bed reeking of alcohol and threw herself into Sheng Zhao's arms. Seeing that he was not asleep, she said, "Actually, third brother is blaming us a little. Every time he comes, he would complain about the Sheng family, but I could tell that he still thinks that the change in the old man and second brother is because you left the Sheng family. Why should I bear such a burden?" This time, Sheng Xiao lay on the bed. He did not use his hands and feet on Mu Chi-Chi like before, nor did he tease her. Instead, he asked Mu Chi-Chi in return with a low voice, as if they were any other husband and wife, having a casual chat before bed. "Don't you regret leaving the Sheng family at all?" "Why should I?" Sheng Xiao asked. "Are you out of your mind? Would you be willing to let your husband shoulder the responsibility of the Sheng family now?" Mu Chi-Chi shook her head. "Of course not. You're working so hard, Huang Yao, and the old man is controlling you in every way possible. The rest of the Sheng family thinks that it's only right for you to do so, and I certainly wouldn't let you go back. Then why are you blabbering?" This time, Sheng Xiao did not wait for Mu Chi-Chi to finish. He pinched her chin and said, "The only person you have to feel sorry for in this world is me. Don't even think about the other messy things. Strike me first if the heavens strike you. Strike me first if the heavens strike you. I'll be content as long as you stay by my side." At those words, Mu Chi-Chi abruptly bit Sheng Zhao's chin. "What heavens strike you? Tui, don't feel guilty for the choices of others. Fate can be resisted, but it depends on whether you're willing to pay the price. When you talk about teaching, you're really good at it." Sheng Xiao abruptly opened his eyes at that. "You don't like me preaching? Then let's do something else." Over the last 2 years, the little one still had kindness in her bones no matter how much she had grown. She would feel insecure over the misfortune of others. That was something he could not teach, just as he did not want to change Mu Chi-Chi. It was fine if Chi-Er was kind, but he could be ruthless. Moreover, Chi-Er's kindness was not blind obedience or Virgin Mary. The next day, since it was the weekend, Mu Chi-Chi was summoned to the forensics lab early in the morning. It was only when she arrived that she learned that Feng Shanshan had applied to study and observe as well. "Hello, Chi-Chi." Mu Chi-Chi nodded slightly and quickly changed her clothes at the professor's instruction. Although Feng Shanshan and Mu Chi-Chi were in the same class, she did not come for her internship during the holidays, which was why she had much less experience than Mu Chi-Chi. Although her results in theory were better than Mu Chi-Chi's. "Chi-Chi, now that the police have no direction to investigate, we can only think of a way to see if we can provide some ideas for those young masters who are in a terrible situation." Mu Chi-Chi stared at the pieces of corpses, troubled as well. "Are there no connections between these 5 people? The police have investigated all missing persons, but they couldn't find anything. No one is missing, then did they investigate the funeral parlors?" The professor was stunned for a moment. "You're right. These 5 people don't have any obvious external injuries, but because their internal organs have been dug out, we can't determine the real cause of death. What if someone stole the corpses?" Chapter 416. When the professor left the lab, Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Chi-Chi. "Chi-Chi, you've already gotten used to being a forensic doctor. Mu Chi-Chi propped herself up by the pool and asked Feng Shanshan in return, "Didn't you say that you would make me pay for what happened to your companions? What's going on now? I didn't expect you to really take my words to heart." Feng Shanshan laughed. "Those three asked for it. I only threatened you in a moment of anger." At that, Mu Chi-Chi turned and approached Feng Shanshan. "I don't like being two-faced. I also think that it's better if we don't talk to each other, lest we disgust each other. Don't you think?" "You're so petty." Mu Chi-Chi did not reply, but the professor returned to the lab. Seeing the strange atmosphere between the two, he seemed to have noticed something. "Those young masters have already started their investigation. I believe there will be results soon. I just hope that there won't be more piles of body parts." "Professor, I have another discovery." "Go ahead," the professor said to Mu Chi-Chi as he washed his hands. "Why are there only 2 adult males who lost their palms among the 5 corpses? And they lost their left hands. Is it possible that the murderer also lost his left hand, and because he was jealous of the intact bodies of these dead men, he chopped them off to vent his anger? I'll let the police join the investigation. Now, let's check the body parts again and see if we can find anything new." "Feng Shanshan, come and help," the professor ordered. When Feng Shanshan saw Mu Chi-Chi calmly walking around the corpses with a magnifying glass, she mustered her courage and went to the piles of corpses. However, no matter how much she did not want to admit defeat, she threw up in front of the pool after taking a look. "It turns out that you're really a heroine." The professor could not help but praise Mu Chi-Chi. It was the first time she saw such a disgusting scene, but she was surprisingly calm. Mu Chi-Chi smiled and continued to look for clues and answers on the body parts. After vomiting, Feng Shanshan walked to Mu Chi-Chi's side. But when she opened her eyes and looked at the headless corpse, she turned to the pool again and vomited. "If you can't stand it, you can leave first." Feng Shanshan took a moment to compose herself and said, "I admit that I'm not as good as you in that regard, but I'll surpass you soon." Mu Chi-Chi did not have a good impression of Feng Shanshan. She even subconsciously felt that the girl carried some of old Sheng's arrogance, and the two were very similar. It seemed that he would have to suffer in the forensics laboratory in the future. In the evening, Su Che drove to the entrance of the criminal police station, with Sheng Xiao sitting in the back seat. Then, he gave Mu Chi-Chi a call. Mu Chi-Chi changed and left. Feng Shanshan followed behind her. When she saw her get into Sheng Xiao's car, she sneered. The sarcasm in her eyes was very strong. The crown prince was supposed to be the pride of the heavens, but he was so smitten by Mu Chi-Chi that he did not even want Huang Yao anymore. It was no wonder that old Sheng would pay her so much to keep an eye on Mu Chi-Chi and report back to him. Be that as it may, Mu Chi-Chi's daily study life was going according to plan, and there was nothing she could use against her. There was no telling why old Sheng would keep an eye on Mu Chi-Chi. When Mu Chi-Chi got into the car, she realized that they were not heading home, and turned to ask Sheng Xiao, "Where are we going? I wanted to pick you up, but I got a call from Secretary He on the way to dinner. So, I simply brought you along." Sheng Xiao explained, "I know what kind of person Secretary He is, but is it okay if you bring me along? You're the eldest daughter of the Shun family. What's wrong with that?" Sheng Xiao was completely unconcerned. Moreover, who would have an opinion about his woman? Mu Chi-Chi nodded and did not think much of it. When the time came, she would just bury herself in her food and try not to interrupt men's matters. Soon, the trio arrived at the hotel. Sheng Xiao led Mu Chi-Chi into the extraordinarily lively private room. Secretary, he raised a brow at Sheng Xiao when he saw Mu Chi-Chi. "That must be my little sister-in-law. Hello." Mu Chi-Chi quickly greeted him. "Mayor Shen's niece and the old chief's granddaughter. You're really extraordinary." With that, Secretary, he raised his glass at Sheng Xiao. "Sister-in-law is still young, so we won't let her drink. You drink in her stead." Sheng Xiao took off his jacket and draped it over the back of Mu Chi-Chi's chair. Then, he put his arm over Mu Chi-Chi's back, assuming a protective stance. "This little one can drink. I'm not falling for that. I'll be drinking double when the time comes." Sheng Xiao smiled. Mu Chi-Chi glanced at the people there. There were around 11 of them, including herself and Sheng Xiao, and each of them had an imposing appearance. Even the middle-aged men among them did not appear greasy. Such was Sheng Zhao's social circle. As for secretary, although he liked to joke, he was a man of action and courage. Such a ruthless man. You should be replaced. Mu Qiqi lowered her head to eat, smiling along with them. She knew that those people were talking about cooperation, and she did not understand or need to be involved. Still, she felt that it was worth it to watch Sheng Xiao argue with the crowd. It was no wonder he never lost a contract negotiation. What was rarer was that these people were not unscrupulous at all when they interacted with each other. They were very respectful of women, and never joked about them from the beginning of the meal to the end of the drinks. That was what Mu Qiqi was most satisfied with. After that, people started to leave the banquet one after another. There were only 3 or 4 people left, and they continued to drink. There aren't many true feelings in this world. Cherish them when you meet them, and don't separate no matter what happens. Take me and sister-in-law, for example. We wanted a divorce more than 100 times in the first year of our marriage, but we would feel upset every time we reached the Civil Affairs Bureau. It hurts to think of the wife you love and dote on suddenly becoming someone else's. That's why I made a pact with sister-in-law that if anyone mentions divorce again, they would have to do housework for the rest of their lives. Mu Qiqi hugged Sheng Zhao's arm, listening intently. We're all hot-blooded soldiers. It's our duty to protect our country. Are we still men if we can't even protect our wives? If there's a chance in the future, I'll let you meet my wife and son. My son is so beautiful. Chapter 417. No, I have to go home. I'm going to get scolded again if my son smells alcohol on me. With those words, secretary, he propped himself up and told Sheng Xiao, the people you came to meet tonight are all noble gentlemen, I know. Secretary, he clapped his hand on Sheng Xiao's shoulder, his expression meaningful. Let's go. Sheng Xiao nodded and saw secretary he out of the private room with Mu Qiqi. When all the guests had left, Mu Qiqi could not help but sigh. I've only seen a few of them on TV. I've finally seen them for myself how admirable they are. Mu Qiqi sighed. Sheng Xiao smiled and was about to bring Mu Qiqi home. However, when they reached the front desk to pay the bill, they ran into Sheng Kai, who was also hosting a banquet with Gu Xiling. Both of them were treating their business partners to a meal for their wedding. It was the first time they met outside of Sheng Zhao's house since he left Huangyao. Compared to his flamboyant self before, Sheng Xiao was much more composed now. Sheng Kai assumed that he was forced to keep his fierceness because of financial constraints, but how could he know who Sheng Xiao was meeting just now? Sheng Xiao did not spare them a glance, and merely took out his gold card to the front desk. Bill, please. Let me do it. Sheng Kai pushed Sheng Zhao's gold card back. You don't have an income now that you're leaving the Sheng family, and it's best not to come to such high-class hotels again. I'll pay for this meal. Mu Qiqi felt that Sheng Kai had misunderstood something at that. Sheng Xiao, however, nodded. You're the CEO of Huangyao now. That's not a problem. Isn't that the path you chose? Sheng Kai told Sheng Xiao, even as he paid the bill. Also, you better not let the old man see you. You know how much he hates you now? That was when the receptionist told them, I'm sorry, but this bill has already been paid for. It was secretary, he who had sent his assistant to handle it before he left. That was why Sheng Kai did not get the chance to earn some face in front of Sheng Xiao. Leave it for next time, since you like paying for me so much. With that, he winked at Mu Qiqi. Let's go. Mu Qiqi held back her laughter. She could not say it out loud, so she nodded. Goodbye. Old 8, it's rare for us to meet outside. How about another drink? Forget it. I'm so poor. I won't embarrass you as the CEO of Huangyao. With that, the two of them left. On the other hand, Gu Xiling stood beside Sheng Kai and looked at him from the beginning to the end. Sure enough, after losing the halo of being the crown prince, he was just a profiteer who was greedy for money even for a meal. With such a comparison, it seemed that Sheng Kai was slightly better now. And did Sheng Kai really want to help Sheng Xiao? All he wanted was to humiliate and mock Sheng Xiao with the cost of a meal. Look at how glorious he was in the past, but what about now? He actually wagged his tail and begged for mercy for the sake of a meal. But only Mu Qiqi knew how much she wanted to laugh out loud. Herman's potential for black-bellied was really unlimited. Since someone was willing to pay for him, he was more than happy to do so. What a shame. Secretary, he has already given it to me, Sheng Xiao said regretfully. You don't know. I almost couldn't hold it in. Mu Chi was still laughing even after getting into the car. But it's enough to prove what kind of change second brother has changed, third brother. Because he didn't want to pay for us at all. He just wanted to humiliate you with the cost of a meal. All the good feelings I had for him are gone now. What does it matter? The two of them pretended that it was a joke and returned home in a good mood. As for Shang Kai, when he returned home, he told third brother about his encounter with Shang Xiao at the hotel. I think eighth brother won't be able to splurge for much longer. I almost couldn't recognize him when I saw him at the hotel today. The once glorious crown prince is like that now. That's why I wanted to pay for him. Are you saying that you wanted to pay for eighth brother when you met him at the hotel today? Third brother looked as if he was watching a show. Yes, he didn't refuse. Nonsense. Sheng Xiao was such a smart man. Wouldn't 100 billion be too much when he owned Zhongtan? It would be weird if he didn't want someone giving him money. Third brother, I'm really emotional. Perhaps the Sheng family had put him on too high a pedestal before and treated him as a god. But tonight, wagging his tail and begging for mercy, right? No, third brother was about to suffer an internal injury. Only the Sheng family would think that giving Sheng Xiao out of charity was a form of revenge. How happy would he be if someone paid for him? Yeah, I won't treat eighth brother as an opponent from now on, because I don't think he deserves it anymore. All right, second brother. I know. I'm tired after a long day of work. I'm going back to my room to rest. Most of all, third brother felt that he would lose control and laugh out loud if he kept listening. Go. Shen Kai simply assumed that third brother was protecting Sheng Xiao. That was why he couldn't listen to his nagging. Moreover, he wasn't the only one who thought that Sheng Xiao's legend was over. Even Gu Xiling was extremely disappointed in Sheng Xiao. Where was the domineering Sheng Xiao at old Sheng's birthday banquet now? As expected, once a man lost power and influence, he would appear plain and ordinary. That way, she felt a little better about marrying Shang Kai. Of course, the old man had to know about that. Especially at the dining table the next morning, the old man's mood was indescribably bright. After all, he had heard that Shang Kai had humiliated Sheng Xiao. Third brother couldn't help burying his head in his food. Could stupidity really be contagious? Your wedding is in a few days. Second brother, you should go to the Su family and invite fourth sister and Jing Yun to the wedding. You should also discuss their marriage in passing. Got it, grandfather, Sheng Kai replied. Meanwhile, Jing Yun had been busy filling the hole that Su Yihong and his son had left in Su Holdings. That was why he didn't pay much attention to Sheng Xiao and could only listen to Sheng Minglan talk about it when he returned home every day. That night, Sheng Kai brought along Gu Xiling for a visit to the Su family with a gift and an invitation. Still, he appeared awkward because Jing Yun had once been close to the Sheng family. I hope you won't hold a grudge no matter what I've done before. After all, you're my brother-in-law now. Chapter 4:18. It would be best if you could let bygones be bygones. I'm just afraid that you would refuse to interact with us because of eighth brother. I don't think so, Jing Yun replied. Grandfather even said that he would discuss your marriage when the time comes. There was awkwardness in the Su family's living room for the entire night. Jing Yun had no intention of reminiscing with Sheng Kai, and Sheng Minglan did not like Gu Xiling either, which was why she did not say a word. In the end, it was the two elders of the Su family who dispelled the awkwardness, finding an excuse for Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan to leave. Eighth brother is no longer with the Sheng family, and second brother has become the CEO. But I have the feeling that the Sheng family is different now. Grandfather even had people burn down Jing Ting. Jing Yun turned to look at Sheng Minglan's dejected expression and hugged her. When the Su family is back on track, let's travel abroad and get married. Really? But Mom and Dad only want us to be happy and don't want to have too much to do with the Sheng family. The only regret I have is that we can't give you a grand wedding, but we could find a small church abroad and have a wedding just for the two of us. Jing Yun's expression was serious, which reassured Sheng Minglan. Since Su Holdings is stable now, we should think of a way to help eighth brother. At that, Jing Yun put a hand on Sheng Minglan's shoulder and explained seriously, "Listen to me, Minglan. I've been with him for over a decade, and Mu Chi probably doesn't know him as well as I do. He doesn't need anyone's help, and don't believe the rumors out there. You can't imagine what the young master can do and what he can do. That's why we have to take care of ourselves. That will be the greatest help to him." "Is that really so? Trust me, that must be it." Sheng Minglan trusted him, which was why she nodded, feeling reassured. "I'm just afraid that he would make a big fuss again. Now, all of Jianchuan is mocking him. Just think about how a proud person like him would endure such humiliation. Based on my understanding of him, he must be hiding at home watching the show. That was why even Mu Chi had to admit defeat. After all, Jing Yun had been by Sheng Zhao's side for so many years, and no one in this world could match his understanding of Sheng Xiao. Then, do you want to attend my second brother's wedding? If you think you, of course I'm going." As the representative of the Su family, it was unreasonable for him not to go. Of course, the most important reason was that he felt that he would be able to watch a wonderful show at the wedding banquet. The circle of nobles had always been this realistic. Come to think of it, Lu Qianqian felt that she should spend more time to talk to Mu Chi. There were so many rumors about Sheng Xiao in Jianchuan, and Mu Chi was definitely in a bad mood. So Lu Qianqian got in touch with successor training early and planned to drive to the Shun family. However, as soon as he walked out of the gate of Lu Enterprises, he saw Lin Mu and leaning against the stone pillar at the entrance. Lu Qianqian's heart immediately soared. "Why are you here? Isn't school starting?" "I'm on vacation, so I came out to see you," Lin Muan replied. "I was going to see Mu Chi, then I came at the wrong time." Lin Mu, and said in disdain, even as he opened Lu Qianqian's car door. Lu Qianqian smiled, and only said when she saw that he had settled in, "Say, why didn't your school train your body to be smarter? Stop fooling around. Let's find a place to park. I only have 10 minutes before I return to the team." Lin Moon explained. "Just 10 minutes. Can't you go back to school earlier? How could I not worry if I don't see your ugly face?" Lin Moon pinched Lu Qianqian's cheek. "I'm relieved now that I see you. Still, little Pepper, you've put on quite a bit of weight after not seeing you for some time. Get lost." Lu Qianqian was furious. At the same time, she felt sorry for him. "If you lack anything in school, just tell me. I'm your best friend after all. I can still help you with such a small matter. I'm leaving." Lin Mu and took out a childish clay figurine from his pocket and put it in Lu Qianqian's hand. Then, he jumped out of the car and soon disappeared before Lu Qianqian's eyes. Lu Qianqian could only smile helplessly at the clay figurine. "He made you so ugly." But what she did not know was how much effort Lin Mu and had spent to come out of the police academy to see her. Just because he had dreamt that old Lin was going to attack the Lu family. He was really worried, and that was why he ran out with all his might. But after one look at the little Pepper, he ran back foolishly. The little Pepper had unwittingly become his Achilles heel. In fact, was Lin Mu and not a concern for Lu Qianqian as well? It was as if he was a family member. Although she lived a busy life every day, Lu Qianqian still missed that bastard who would go against her every time they met. She was worried that old Lin would trouble him, worried that he would not have enough to eat or wear because of his pride, afraid that he would be bullied outside and have no one to back him up. I wonder when that bastard would grow up. And because of Lin Mu An's delay, Lu Qianqian was no longer in the mood to see Mu Chi. Soon, the wedding between the Sheng and Gu families was held grandly in Jianchuan. The marriage between the two families was naturally a grand affair with a hall full of guests. After the storm of Sheng Zhao's departure from Huangyao, the Sheng family welcomed their guests with a grand ceremony once again. And this time, the old man's hopes would not be disappointed. After all, Sheng Kai was different from Sheng Xiao. The venue for the wedding was very luxurious. Thousands of champagne roses decorated the wedding venue into a sacred manner. It was said that hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on the wedding. Gu Ziling's bridal gown alone was embedded with over 500 diamonds, and was worth over 10 million. Such a scene was rare in Jianchuan. It was clear how much importance old Sheng placed on the wedding. In just a little over a month, he had created such a grand wedding. The Gu family was very pleased. Their daughter's grand wedding gave them great pride. Moreover, her son-in-law was handsome and capable. Thinking about it this way, not choosing Sheng Xiao in the first place was the right decision. Of course, the guests were gossipy, and some of them were even talking about Sheng Xiao recently. Chapter 419. That's right. You all must have heard about the news of the crown prince being humiliated endlessly. I wonder if he would come to the wedding today. He probably won't. After all, he's the one making a fuss about leaving the Sheng family. It was inevitable that the guests would mention Sheng Zhao's name, and the old man's face naturally darkened at that. There's no such person in the Sheng family. I hope that you would respect the host today and not talk about this irrelevant person at my grandson's wedding. Not at all. We're just saying that your second grandson is a talented young man. That's right. Huang Yao doesn't really need anyone. With Chairman Sheng's wise leadership, someone else could lead Huang Yao to glory all the same. Naturally, such polite words were better listened to. However, Sheng Kai still felt good when he heard that. The old man did not have to be so calculative. Instead of saying that he was refusing to talk about Sheng Xiao, it would be more accurate to say that he could stomp Sheng Xiao into the mud. Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan only arrived at the hotel when the wedding ceremony was about to begin. Though the old man was embarrassed, he had to greet them. Jing Yun, fourth sister, grandfather. Sheng Minglan greeted the old man a little awkwardly. You two should get ready after second brother's wedding. Do you like such a wedding? I'll prepare a grander one for you then. No need. Su Holdings is very busy these days, and Jing Yun and I could just travel and get married. Sheng Minglan refused. The old man did not say much when he saw that the two were not appreciative. He was just being polite anyway, because he knew very well that he would not get on Jing Yun's good side, even if he wanted to announce his relationship with the Su family. That being the case, he was actually relieved that they did not have a wedding. Let's go in. The wedding ceremony is about to begin. Jing Yun led Sheng Minglan inside when some of the guests were pointing at him. He used to be the crown prince's assistant, but he's now the third young master of the Su family. Sheng Xiao is already in such a state, but he's not going to help him. How heartless. You don't know, but Jing Yun is already married to fourth sister of the Sheng family. Since he's the Sheng family's son-in-law, he should have some scruples. Jing Yun said nothing, but Sheng Minglan turned to glare at the gossipy women. Soon, the wedding ceremony officially began. All the guests held their breaths as they watched Gu Xiling walk down the red carpet in her wedding gown, which was worth tens of millions. The two of them looked so affectionate, because Gu Xiling suddenly realized that Sheng Kai was the strongest man in the Sheng family right now. As for Sheng Xiao, he could go to hell. That was why she was willing to marry Sheng Kai today. It was a complete change from her initial reluctance to be with a man who loved her. Perhaps, when the time of the contract was up, she would be the one unwilling to be the one to leave. After the ceremony, old Sheng was invited to the stage to say a few words of blessing for the newlyweds. And the first thing he said was that he had been blind. I was blind in the past. I didn't notice such a good grandson. I raised an ingrate for more than 20 years and almost picked the wrong couple. Here, I want to apologize to my grandson and granddaughter-in-law. From now on, I only hope that the two of you could work hand in hand and tide over the difficulties together, and have a few more children so that I could enjoy the joy of playing with grandchildren. Of course, if anyone dares to provoke my grandson or bully my granddaughter-in-law, these old bones of mine will be the first to fight them to the death. I have to say that second brother is the greatest contributor to the Sheng family and the hope of Huang Yao's future. I have placed all my hopes on the newlyweds. The old man's words had basically wiped away all of Sheng Zhao's contributions to Huang Yao. He really knew how to be a heartless grandfather. Jing Yun, let's go. Sheng Minglan could not help roaring inwardly at that. Tired? Yes. Then I'll take you to greet the newlyweds. With that, Jing Yun led Sheng Minglan to Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling. The ceremony was over, and the newlyweds were ready to change into their attire for a toast. Second brother, second sister-in-law, Ming-Lan and I are going back now. There are still many things waiting for us at Su Holdings. You should at least have a meal before you leave. No need, Jing Yun said stubbornly, and was about to leave with Sheng Ming-Lan. But before they left, Sheng Ming-Lan told Sheng Kai, no matter how much you want to deny Eighth Brother's existence or tarnish his reputation, you have to admit that it was Sheng Xiao who had developed Huang Yao to where it is now over the last 10 years. You could lie to your guests, but not to yourselves. I wish you all the best, second brother. Sheng Kai's face promptly fell, but he could do nothing about Sheng Ming-Lan. Of course, Sheng Ming-Lan only said those words out of frustration. She didn't care where she was right now. The old man had humiliated, tarnished, burned down houses, and slaughtered without a shred of conscience. And the rest of the Sheng family, on the other hand, were riding on the tree planted by their predecessors to humiliate them. Wasn't that ironic? Are you that angry? Jing Yun couldn't help smirking at Sheng Minglan's fuming look. No one would get justice for Eighth Brother if I don't say a word. Sheng Minglan snorted. Well, it's still early. Let's go find young master for lunch. Okay. Sheng Minglan nodded. Soon, Jing Yun called Sheng Xiao to confirm where he was. Knowing where they came from, Sheng Xiao gave Jing Yun an address. Sheng Minglan soon realized that it wasn't the way to the Shun's residence, and asked Jing Yun, aren't we going to find Eighth Brother? Young master gave me the address. He's there now. Sheng Minglan nodded and didn't ask anything else. It was only when they arrived at the front desk of Zhongting that they met the receptionist. Excuse me, are you Mr. Jing and Miss Sheng? Sheng Minglan nodded in confusion. The receptionist promptly sent them to the CEO's personal elevator and sent them directly to Sheng Zhao's office. Chief Sheng, your guests are here. Come in. Sheng Zhao's voice could be heard from the office. Chapter 420. Sheng Minglan was utterly confused. What's going on? New company. Can't you tell? Wait, when did you start your own company? Is that the point? Sheng Xiao rose from his chair and walked up to them, lifting a brow. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan was beside herself with excitement after walking a lap around Sheng Zhao's office. So, who were you trying to fool when you were humiliated and trampled on by those 3 young masters? That's not entirely true. That night, those 3 people were indeed trying to humiliate me. Sheng Minglan's gloominess was suddenly swept away, and she stared at Sheng Xiao in disbelief. You're really unexpected. As expected, Jing Yun is the one who understands you the most in this world. After all, he didn't follow me all these years for nothing. Sheng Xiao replied. Now, everyone in Jianchuan is laughing at you for being a failure and how useless you are now. And yet, you quietly became the ruler of this place. That's not like you, who would seek vengeance. One must learn to keep a low profile. Whatever the case may be, Sheng Minglan was really pleased. Her younger brother was really invincible. It seems that I really don't have to worry or be afraid of you from now on. Did you know that I even reprimanded second brother at the wedding for you? And I was worried for nothing, wasn't I? That's why I've asked you to come. Sheng Minglan really forgot about her anger at that moment and simply found the whole thing interesting. When do you plan to reveal your identity? There's no rush. Someone would come to fawn over me soon. Sheng Minglan laughed at that. Sheng Xiao, you weren't that cunning before. Did you learn that from Mu Chi? The trio had lunch at Zhongting's cafeteria, with Sheng Minglan exclaiming, You're really a sly old fox. It's such a good deal to have eldest uncle be your industrial designer for free. That said, I rarely see eldest uncle so focused on one thing. It was also because they had seen Papa Sheng working in his workshop that they could not help but sigh in awe. It's fine as long as you know this. No matter what kind of rumors are spreading about me in the outside world, you can pretend not to hear them. I didn't know you were so capable before. Sheng Minglan glared at him. Now that we know that you're a big shot, Jing Yun and I will only think that those rumors are funny. We won't really take it to heart. She used to think that Sheng Minglan was pitiful when Sheng Xiao became like the rumors. But now she was relieved. The two stayed in Zhongting until the day before Sheng Zhao's meeting. On the other hand, Sheng Minglan only understood half of the conversation between Jing Yun and Sheng Xiao. That was why on the way home from Zhongteng, Sheng Minglan couldn't help asking, "I don't really understand the jargon you were using just now. Could you tell me in a nutshell what it means?" In short, young master is more powerful than before. Anyone in his circle could cause an earthquake in Jianchuan. Sheng Minglan nodded. That's right. No wonder he looks down on Huang Yao so much. When the Sheng family was humiliating Sheng Xiao in all sorts of ways, he was walking to a height no one else could reach. I'm really worried that the old man would have a heart attack when this matter is exposed. That's none of our business. It was a significant day for the Sheng family, both for Huang Yao and for Sheng Kai. At night, after the wedding, he carried Gu Xiling back to the bridal chamber and asked her, "Are you ready?" Thinking about it now, Gu Xiling did not seem to dislike Sheng Kai as much, and so nodded. "Since you plan to have a child as soon as possible, we won't use contraceptives." Hearing this, Gu Xiling nodded her head again. Perhaps it was the effect of alcohol, or perhaps it was because they were dressed up, but they did not dislike each other as much at that moment. So, it was only after they entered the bridal chamber that Sheng Kai realized that although Gu Xiling was living with her ex-boyfriend, she was still a virgin. Such a discovery was simply a pleasant surprise for him. That was why he could not help having sex with Gu Xiling again and again. Both of them hoped that they could have a child soon. But was it really that easy to have a child? Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao was cleaning the strange smell on Mu Qiqi's body and listening to her talk about the case of the 5 corpses. "Do you know why the 5 corpses were gutted from the side?" "Why?" Sheng Xiao asked cooperatively. "Because the murderer used to be a fish merchant. A customer complained that he didn't clean the fish's organs properly, so he got into an argument with the customer. The customer yelled at him to kill him if he had the ability. Then, the murderer stole these corpses to practice his skills before he took revenge on the customer. He's a real pervert. When the police found him, the internal organs of those people were still hanging in his house. He probably wanted to dry them and make them into a specimen. And the strangest thing is that I always thought that he was jealous of the others because he lost his left hand. But when the police caught him, they found that he had 7 fingers on his left hand. Perhaps he could not stand the strange looks of others and gradually became twisted. His family also left him one by one, so he stole the corpses and forcibly became a family. So you've done a good deed." Mu Qiqi smiled and suddenly remembered that Sheng Minglan had called her in the afternoon. "Did you let 4th sister and Jing Yun go to Zhongteng?" 4th sister went to the wedding today and scolded 2nd brother. That's why I couldn't keep hiding it from her, so I told her the secret so that she could be happy. You should have done that earlier. It's a pity I wasn't there, or I could see 4th sister's excited face. Mu Qiqi expressed her regret. After washing her hair, Sheng Xiao wiped her hair with a towel, but slowly his hand began to move downwards. Mu Qiqi promptly laughed. "Stop it. Let me dry my hair first, or I'll catch a cold. I'll spare you for now." Sheng Xiao did not want his little one to suffer, and so temporarily suppressed his desire. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi was puzzled. How could this man still have the mood to do that after hearing about the body parts and organs? "Xiao Xiao, your mental fortitude is better than Feng Shanshan's. This person has dealings with the Sheng family. Keep your guard up," Sheng Xiao said seriously as he carried Mu Qiqi out of the bathtub. "Of course I'll be on guard. Actually, I will be careful even if you didn't tell me. You should know that your little wife is very vengeful." Her eyes were always on Feng Shanshan. Chapter 4:21. Time flew. Soon, half a year had passed. With the cooperation of Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling, Huang Yao had taken another step forward and became a famous diamond empire in Asia. Old Sheng was very satisfied with the expansion of their territory. With such results, Old Sheng was finally no longer conflicted over whether it was Sheng Kai or Sheng Xiao who was sitting in that seat. Even so, he still hated Sheng Xiao intensely because he believed that Sheng Xiao was a stain on his life. Still, no matter how much he hated Sheng Xiao had been hiding in the Shun family over the last 6 months as an idle son-in-law, with rumors of him getting into fights with the young masters of other families from time to time. It was as if Mu Chi-Chi had bewitched the man, turning him from a promising crown prince into a pile of mud that could not be helped up. Meanwhile, Feng Shanshan continued to monitor Mu Chi-Chi for old Sheng. However, Mu Chi-Chi's daily life was divided between school, home, and the forensics lab. She rarely had time to visit Lu Qianqian or Sheng Minglan. Mu Chi-Chi's life was not even as rich as an ordinary person's. At the very least, she could still dance and sing with her classmates, or go to the bar late at night. That was why she really did not think that Mu Chi-Chi was worth monitoring. She was plain and boring. However, in a place where she and the Sheng family could not see. In just half a year, Zhongting had become famous in the country. After all, Zhongting was not only producing military supplies, but Sheng Xiao had also re-established a research department and built a huge base to carry out the development of new weapons with close ties to the military. It was this soaring group that attracted the attention of many people. However, no one knew who the person in charge of Zhongting was. In the last 6 months, Mu Chi-Chi had visited the base he was so proud of with Sheng Xiao many times, accompanied him on expeditions around the world, and befriended many important people. Recently, the two of them had gone to Norway to see the laser. But only the Shun family knew about this. Shun Jianchuan could walk normally now, and Su Zipei's little darling was born. Still, they had kept a low profile in order to play along with Sheng Xiao's act. The Sheng family had naturally become even more arrogant now that they had risen to another level. On the other hand, Gu Xiling had clearly signed an agreement with Shang Kai that she would divorce him after having a child and start a new family. Even so, after spending half a year with Shang Kai, she realized that she had fallen for him. However, after half a year of hard work, there was still no movement in her stomach. Because of this, she secretly went for a checkup. However, the doctor said that she was fine and suspected that there might be something wrong with the man. But how could she mention this to Shang Kai? It would be strange if Shang Kai didn't lose his temper. At night, when Shang Kai returned home and saw that Grandpa Sheng was still meeting Feng Shanshan, he knew that Grandpa Sheng's problem had not been resolved. I really don't know why Grandpa is still dissatisfied with Huang Yao's development to the point that he still wants Feng Shanshan to monitor Mu Chi-Chi. While helping Shang Kai take off his coat, Gu Xiling said to her husband, "Grandpa thinks that Sheng Xiao is a stain on his life. He has been wanting to take revenge for the past 6 months. He knows how useless his Sheng Xiao has been. Forget it, let him be. Let's go downstairs and eat." Gu Xiling nodded and kept the results of the checkup in her makeup box. She thought that she might have been too nervous and wouldn't get pregnant this way, so she might as well try for a while longer. The whole family was having a meal in the spacious dining hall when Grandpa Sheng gave Sheng Kai a mission. Go and find out more about Zhongting. Find out who's in charge of Zhongting. See if this family has any daughters of the right age. If there are, I think our third brother has found a place to settle down. Third brother spat out a mouthful of rice at that. Grandpa, I'm already working hard to find one myself. Don't rush me. How do you know you're not satisfied with Zhongting's daughter if she's not pretty? Third brother chuckled sheepishly. As expected, the old man had finally set his sights on Zhongting. He had expected it. After all, who wouldn't know that Zhongting was now in Jianchuan? Still, he was certain that eighth brother's family had no daughters. Got it, Grandpa. I'll see to it as soon as I can. Sheng Kai replied, even teasing third brother. You're the only one in the family who hasn't settled down yet. Even sixth brother is getting married. Shouldn't you work hard? Third brother thought to himself, you guys better not see to it, or the family won't have peace soon. The old man chuckled as well, before turning to Sheng Kai. By the way, get that piece of land east of the city as soon as possible. The expansion of Huang Yao's production base is imminent. I know, Grandpa. I'll see to it as soon as I can. Still, I heard that Zhongting has their eyes on that piece of land too. You could use the chance to get to know the person in charge. Zhongting had their eyes on that piece of land, but Sheng Xiao might not be the one to bid for it. When third brother heard about it, he quietly called Sheng Xiao before he went to bed. You successfully caught the old man's attention. He sent second brother to check you out. He wants to know who's in charge of Zhongting, and if there's a girl of suitable age for me to be his son-in-law. Zhongting has many beautiful female employees. Sheng Xiao replied. Eighth brother, you've got guts. You're sneaking glances at female employees behind sister-in-law's back. Do you think I'm you? Sheng Xiao was about to hang up. I got it. You're almost done hiding, aren't you? Uh-huh. Sheng Xiao simply felt that life had been wonderful without the old man's interference for the past 6 months. Of course, he did not have to fear the old man's interference with his current position. After all, he could do anything to Huang Yao with just a few words. There were too many things that could trouble Huang Yao. Mu Qiqi came out of the bathroom after her shower to find Sheng Xiao sitting on the sofa with his black shirt unbuttoned. She sat down with her wet hair and dripped water on Sheng Xiao's documents. Dry my hair. Sheng Xiao put down the documents and pulled his little one into his arms. After half a year, the little one's figure had become even more alluring. Especially with fifth aunt giving her food supplements, her entire face now looked rosy, lustrous, and plump. I heard it when I was showering. What did third brother tell you? Sheng Xiao chuckled softly at third brother's words. Chapter 422. The Sheng family wants to know if we have an unmarried daughter of suitable age, so that they can marry third brother to us. Huh. Mu Qiqi glared at Sheng Xiao in disdain. Wouldn't the Sheng family always try to curry favor with any major family? Isn't the Su family and the Gu family enough? The problem is, my daughter is already taken. Wait, where would we get a daughter? Mu Qiqi was puzzled. Sheng Xiao straightened Mu Qiqi's body and took out the hairdryer from the bathroom before answering her unhurriedly. Who else would I spoil other than you? Blah. Mu Qiqi hugged Sheng Xiao's arm and bit the back of his hand. You're the respected CEO now, and the Sheng family is coming to fawn over you. But Xiao Xiao, I think our life is good now, and I don't want to have too much to do with the Sheng family. That's right. There are plenty of people who want to fawn over me. What's the Sheng family? Second brother wanted to investigate him? Wasn't that just asking to be humiliated? Mu Qiqi enjoyed the process of Sheng Xiao drying her hair and soon fell asleep on his body. Sheng Xiao was used to it and simply put down the hairdryer and changed his posture to hug Mu Qiqi before picking up the documents again, completely unconcerned that Mu Qiqi had what a corner of the important document. Hence, the two of them became increasingly lovey-dovey. If it had been a year or two ago, Mama Sheng would never have believed that the person who doted on Mu Qiqi so much was her son. Now, that Papa Sheng was in Zhongting and holding an important position. He had achieved something and regained his former confidence. He had to thank his son and Xiao Qi for all that, which was why he did his best to fulfill his promise to his family. Whenever he saw something good, he would buy it for his wife. Of course, he would also buy it for his daughter-in-law. At breakfast the next day, Sheng Xiao told his parents about third brother's phone call yesterday. Mama Sheng snorted coldly, folding her arms. I'm still fuming over Jing Ting's fire. Moreover, the Sheng family has been belittling my son on various occasions over the last 6 months, and now they want to fawn over me? Isn't that just wishful thinking? How ironic when you think about it. Sheng Xiao did not say anything, and simply watched her eat her breakfast. When Mama Sheng saw that Sheng Xiao was not moving, she asked, when do you plan to reveal your identity? At the right time, at the right place. Mama Sheng rolled her eyes. Whatever. Anyway, the Sheng family shouldn't even think about stepping over us now. I'm going to get my hair done with Huang Yu. You can go back to work. Mama Sheng often visited the Shun family ever since the two elders moved into the villa. Her relationship with Huang Yu was becoming more and more like a sister. Although she was a whole generation older than Huang Yu, she had already left the Sheng family. Who cared about seniority? As long as he was happy. After listening to Mama Sheng's description, Huang Yu's eyes widened. The Sheng family is so shameless. They fawn over whoever is powerful. This isn't something that happened in a day or two. Mu Qiqi did not care about Zhongting's affairs and focused on her research as a forensic doctor. Because of this, Feng Shanshan felt that she had no energy at all. And because she had to keep an eye on her, she could only stay in the forensics lab to look at those disgusting corpses on weekends when she was supposed to go on a date with her boyfriend. Don't you go on a date? Why? Sheng Xiao might be broke, but doesn't the Shun family still have power and influence? Mu Chi answered Feng Shanshan as she cleaned the corpse's wounds. It's been half a year. Did you get anything from keeping an eye on me? Who's keeping an eye on you? You can't wait to go to the washroom with me. Isn't that keeping an eye on me? Mu Chi retorted. The Sheng family asked you to keep an eye on me. And then what? What kind of seasoning can I have for the old man's meal? Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Chi in shock. It turned out that the quiet person she liked actually knew everything. By the way, Feng Shanshan, if you keep following me like this, your boyfriend would be gone. He would probably think that you're trying to get gay, wouldn't he? Feng Shanshan was indeed a little tired after hearing that. But it was fortunate that he was her boyfriend of many years, and he was willing to listen as long as she explained. It's not that I don't want to say it, but you're not in this circle. You might not be able to satisfy the loneliness of a rich man, but there are plenty of people who can. Do you believe that? Mu Chi, don't think that everyone is as disgusting as you, seducing your benefactor and turning the crown prince into a good-for-nothing. Mu Chi said nothing, and simply turned to give Feng Shanshan a mocking look. After a while, she spoke again. I'll be in the lab all day today. You should go on a date, or you'll hold a grudge against me when your boyfriend is gone. That's not my business. Sheng Xiao is already like this. Haven't you thought of changing him? You're only 19. I know that all of you want to see Xiao lose everything and be chased out of the Shin family. But he's my man, and I'll always be by his side, even if he has nothing. You don't have to worry about changing him. Feng Shanshan gave Mu Chi a weird look. Then, she really took her bag and left the forensics lab. She couldn't give up her love for old Sheng's money. But when she called her boyfriend, he told her that he was on a business trip. Helpless, Feng Shanshan returned to the lab. Would you believe that your boyfriend is with a beautiful woman right now? Shut up, Mu Chi. My boyfriend loves me very much. Was it love that she didn't even tell him when he was on a business trip? She really couldn't understand such love. At the very least, she knew exactly where Sheng Xiao was when she was with him. If two people loved each other enough, they wouldn't think that it was a restraint and would even let each other know where they were. Of course, Feng Shanshan had her suspicions, or she wouldn't have flown into a rage out of humiliation. However, the feeling of being exposed by one's enemy was another matter altogether. At night, at the Sheng residence, before Sheng Kai returned home, old Sheng called Gu Xiling into his study and asked her when she was going to have a child. Grandfather, Sheng Kai and I have been preparing for a baby, but nothing happened in the last 6 months. Gu Xiling told the old man honestly. Well, did you go for a checkup? I did. The doctor told me that there's no problem, but I didn't dare to mention it to Sheng Kai. Chapter 423. Is that so? Old Sheng looked at the walking stick in his hand and told Gu Xiling, maybe it's not the right time yet. Just wait a little longer. After all, who would want to admit that their grandson had a problem in that area? Although Gu Xiling thought so too, there was still a knot in her heart. After being married to Sheng Kai for half a year, they had been so close to each other that she almost got carried away. I know, grandfather. But if she still could not get pregnant, she still had to think of a way to get Sheng Kai to the hospital for a checkup. A few days later, at the land auction, everyone was discussing that they would be able to see someone from Zhongting today. Sheng Kai was naturally looking forward to it from his seat. Moments later, Su Che and another deputy CEO of Zhongting entered the main hall of the auction. At that moment, many people in charge deliberately turned to look at the person in charge of Zhongting. After all, the company was too mysterious. Su Che's baby face looked very young, which shocked everyone present. To be able to strengthen Zhongting to such a terrifying extent in such a short period of time. Could it be this young man? No one knew the answer. And among them, Sheng Kai was the most puzzled, because he remembered Su Che. He had thought that Su Che was a bartender when he sent third brother home, but he turned out to be someone from Zhongting. Could third brother know someone from Zhongting? Soon, the bidding began. The piece of land in the east of the city was priced at 1.3 billion. Many of the big shots present also scrambled to raise their cards. However, most of them raised their bids in the millions. Even when it came to Huang Yao and Sheng Kai's land, he only raised it by 100 million. But when it came to Zhongting's bidding, Su Che raised 2.6 billion. Everyone was shocked. Many big shots also felt that the land was still desolate and not worth such a high price, so they all gave up. However, Sheng Kai continued to follow up because Huang Yao was determined to get that land. 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion. Sheng Kai continued to bid. 6 billion. Su Che's cool voice rang in the hall. 5 billion. This time, Su Che did not follow up. 5 billion going once. 5 billion going twice. With that final blow, Huang Yao successfully acquired that piece of land. However, he still felt that Su Che was deliberately inflating the price of the land. Everyone thought that Sheng Kai was crazy. The land that was originally worth 1.3 billion yuan had been forcibly raised to the current sky-high price. At the same time, they were also curious about Zhongting's net worth. How could they so easily bid a land price of 6 billion yuan? After the auction ended, everyone left. At this time, Sheng Kai walked up to Su Che and asked, "We met last time. You sent third brother home." "Really? But I don't know your third son." "I just met him at the bar and gave him a ride," Su Che replied. "Are you really the person in charge of Zhongting?" "My family doesn't have any daughters or sons of marriageable age. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you, Chief Sheng." Su Che hit the nail on the head and walked around Sheng Kai to leave the venue. But Sheng Kai was stunned. How could Su Che be so clear about the Sheng family's intentions? Zhongting was truly mysterious. Having completed his mission, Su Che returned to Zhongting to report. Sheng Xiao was delighted to learn that Huang Yao had spent 5 billion yuan. They've really expanded their business in Asia. Now they're showing off their wealth. 5 billion shouldn't be much for Huang Yao, Yi Futian said. 5 billion is certainly nothing, but it's not worth it for that piece of land. Now, I've settled the score with the Sheng family for burning down Jingting. Su Che was puzzled at that. Didn't Miss Chi already seek justice half a year ago? That little one had caused Huang Yao's shares to fall and its market value to evaporate. In truth, it was just a virtual economy, because the money didn't really go into anyone's pocket and simply disappeared from the market. For Huang Yao, it's not a loss even if it doesn't go into their pocket. It's only when the 5 billion yuan is given away that the Sheng family would feel the pain. I see. Still, Chief Sheng, can you hold that grudge for so long? I can hold it for longer. Do you want to try? Su Che quickly waved him off. At the Sheng residence, when old Sheng learned that Sheng Kai had spent 5 billion yuan to buy a piece of land, he was almost overcome with rage. Still, Sheng Kai had his own excuse and was very good at diverting the old man's attention. Zhongting is deliberately provoking us, trying to suppress Huang Yao's momentum. Grandpa, I can't let Zhongting's conspiracy succeed. Although he did spend 5 billion to buy the land, in the eyes of others, no one can shake our position in Jianchuan. Did you see the person in charge of Zhongting? The old man turned his attention to the mysterious Zhongting as expected. I saw a young man, but I suspect he's not the real person in charge. Investigate this matter thoroughly. Don't waste your money for nothing. You wouldn't even know you're being toyed with. Don't worry, grandfather. As long as Sheng Kai successfully shifted the problem to his face and Huang Yao's honor, the old man would definitely admit defeat. Over the last 6 months, he had become well-versed in how to deal with the old man and would no longer fight him head-on like before. Still, the people in the industry could tell at once that Zhongting had set a trap for Huang Yao. Huang Yao had thought how domineering it was to win the land. In the eyes of others, it was rich and arrogant, a fool with too much money. Gu Xiling had also heard the news from the outside. She could not help but say to Sheng Kai, "After spending half a year with you, I have no doubt about your ability. But why did you make such a fool out of yourself now?" Sheng Kai asked. Sheng Kai's nerves would relax a little as long as he was not facing the old man. I don't know why, but seeing the person in charge of Zhongting always gives me the desire to defeat him. Have you been too tired recently? Sheng Kai shook his head and turned to look at his wife. Maybe it's been so long since Sheng Zhao's incident, but I feel like it happened just yesterday. He's a cripple now. What do you have to worry about? Sheng Kai took a deep breath. Finding his wife's words reasonable, he took his pajamas and went to the bathroom to wash up. The joke this time really made him feel ashamed and resentful. However, since it had already happened, he could only look into Zhongting. Late at night, when Mu Chi reached home, she heard the whole family laughing on the sofa. What good thing had happened? Chapter 424. It's all Sheng Zhao's fault. He made Huang Yao lose 5 billion to buy a piece of land worth only 3 billion. Mu Chi glared at Sheng Zhao after listening to Mama Sheng's explanation. Are you taking revenge on Huang Yao? There's nothing wrong with a business competition. How is it revenge? Sheng Zhao answered innocently. However, Mu Chi had a feeling that her man did it on purpose. Why are you back so late today? Another tough case. Mu Chi said to Sheng Zhao and got up from the sofa. I'm going to wash up. Go to bed early, Dad and Mom. Go ahead, Papa Sheng said cheerfully to Mu Chi. Ever since they left the Sheng family, Papa Sheng was more and more satisfied with his daughter-in-law. Before this, he thought that she was young and their family did not live together. That was why he thought that she had bewitched Sheng Zhao and misunderstood her a lot. But after living together, he realized that this girl was not pretentious at all. She was sensible and smart. She would think about her family. Most importantly, she was protective. It was no wonder that his son would fall for her completely. You've seen enough. Let's go back to our room and rest. Son, you're almost ready. Sheng Zhao watched his parents go back to their room. Then, he picked up the documents and continued reading. Indeed, it was time. Wasn't there a big shot who proposed to hold a top business gathering in Jianchuan? It seemed that it was this month. After taking a shower, Mu Chi went downstairs to welcome her man. But just as she sat on his lap, her phone rang. Mu Chi looked at the caller ID and knew that it must be another murder case. Another body was found in the sewers. Come and help, Chi. Mu Chi hung up and looked at Sheng Zhao helplessly. Xiao, I might have to work overtime. It's raining outside, Sheng Zhao said to her, glancing out of the window. It's more likely for murders to happen on rainy days. Mu Chi got down from his lap and went upstairs to change her clothes. At that moment, Sheng Zhao stood up and said, I'll send you there, but you still have work to deal with. It's the same in the car. Having said that, Sheng Zhao picked up the car key and pulled Mu Chi into his arms. If you go out in the middle of the night again, I'll spank your butt. Xiao, do you know that there have been 2 cases of female swine in the city? Their hands and feet were chopped off, and they died so miserably in the sewers. In this world, only we can avenge them. Since the little thing had said so, what else could he say? His usual domineering attitude was useless at this moment. What if I ask you to go out to the field when I'm sick? Tis, of course I'll take care of you first before I go out. After all, there are people over there. Feng Shanshan is trying her best to make a contribution. It's not that she can't do it without me, but you can't leave me, can you? Mu Chi face was written with one word, self-delusional. Of course, Sheng Zhao merely curled his lips and sent her to the spot where the corpse was found. The professor and the forensics team were all there. Feng Shanshan was there too. They held black umbrellas and stood at the entrance of the sewer. The body had already been moved out. Let's take a look at the corpse first. The professor told Mu Chi. Mu Chi nodded. She put on her raincoat and crouched under the canopy. It's still fresh from the color of the livor mortis. It's less than 8 hours old. Their hands and feet were also chopped off with a sharp object. There were no other wounds on their bodies, and they had all died from excessive blood loss, just like the other 2 corpses. Did they find red high heels in the sewers too? Yes. The other forensics team nodded. She's a fierce one. Women who lived alone liked to wear red high heels. Their backgrounds were clean, and they were ordinary office workers. They had no enemies did not flirt with anyone, and had normal social relations. She must have a fetish or a gender identity disorder. She targeted women between the ages of 23 to 27, and from the wounds on the corpses, she was shockingly strong. The problem is the police have investigated the victims' backgrounds, but they did not find anyone unusual. Muchichi thought about it. Still, we have to find something in common, something apart from the high heels. It was raining in the night, and Muchichi's petite figure was standing under the canopy. Sheng Xiao was shocked. The little one was not afraid at all in the face of such gruesome corpses. In the end, the cold wind was biting. Muchichi yawned in the canopy. When Sheng Xiao saw that, he quickly called Su Che. Go buy some hot drinks and bring them to me. The forensic doctors on duty thanked Muchichi when they saw that they could still drink hot drinks in such cold weather. Feng Shanshan saw Sheng Xiao's car not far away, and would be lying if she said she was not jealous. Although she did not know that Sheng Xiao was now the CEO of Zhongting, her boyfriend, who was also a man, chased her out of bed impatiently and locked the door when he heard that she was going out in the middle of the night. I used to think that forensics was cool when I was with you, but now I know how disgusting it is. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. She drove straight to the crime scene. I think we can start with the high heels. There was only one high heel in each of the 3 murders, and the other was not found in the girls' homes. I think it's still with the murderer. Feng Shanshan voiced her opinion. We can start with the high heels and see if we can find anything. I'm afraid the 4th and 5th victims' corpses would have been found by the time you're done with the high heels. Muchichi retorted. Then according to you, how should we investigate? Look for the murder weapon. So far, we haven't found an accurate murder weapon. If we know what weapon it is, we can roughly determine his occupation and approximate his weight. Compared to looking for the high heels, this is more realistic. The murder weapon is the first, the professor said. Go back to the forensics lab and find the sharp object closest to the wound to test it. Feng Shanshan snorted coldly. Still, bring the high heels back for a detailed report. Do a detailed count of the brand, place of origin, date of production, and so on. Also, the rain is too heavy. You 2 go back first. I'll follow up with the forensics team tonight. Feng Shanshan and Muchichi shared a look and brushed past each other. You're always so annoying. Same to you. The man you ruined is in the car, isn't he? Why can't he come down and greet everyone? Chapter 425. Xiao, let's go home. Before Sheng Xiao drove off, he glanced at Feng Shanshan, who was taking a taxi. This woman had been bribed by old Sheng to keep an eye on Qi. He did not expect her to be so determined to keep an eye on Qi for half a year. Of course, Feng Shanshan did not stop causing trouble for Qi over the past 6 months. Such a person is not worth your time. Leave this woman to me. Muchichi seemed to have seen through Sheng Xiao. She knew what this man was planning. Feng Shanshan is proud, but it's also because she has real talent. It's just that her boyfriend probably can't stand her anymore. I've asked Aunt Wu to prepare the water for you again. Go home and take a good bath. Got it. Muchichi nodded. Meanwhile, Feng Shanshan had just gotten a taxi and rushed all the way to her boyfriend's house. However, he would not open the door for her no matter what. Feng Shanshan sat in the living room dejectedly. She sat there for the whole night. The next morning, her boyfriend came out of his room and saw her sleeping in the living room. He kicked her awake. Don't come again. Let's break up. What did you say? Feng Shanshan sat up and asked. Did I not make myself clear enough? Or is there something wrong with your ears? I said, don't come again. I've had enough of you. Every time I see you, you smell weird. I'm in contact with corpses every day. Eating with you really spoils my appetite. That's not what you said when you were chasing me. When I was chasing you, I just thought that your profession was cool. Who knew that it would be so disgusting? Moreover, my parents would not agree to us being together. Let's stop here. With that, the rich man took out a bank card from his wallet. There's 200,000 on it. Consider it your breakup fee. Take the money and get lost. Feng Shanshan found it ridiculous. So, she stood up and took the gold card. A relationship of a few years is really cheap. With that, Feng Shanshan took the gold card and left her boyfriend's villa. I said it's cheap. You don't want it. Feng Shanshan did not want it. After walking out of her ex-boyfriend's villa, she broke the card and threw it into the trash can. Although she came from an ordinary family, she believed that she had not coveted anything from her boyfriend in the past few years. Moreover, it was this man who chased after her first. However, she had nowhere else to go, so she went to the forensics lab. It was hard to tell whether Feng Shanshan was a good person or a bad person. That was why Mu Chi had always tolerated her surveillance. When Sheng Xiao left the house the next morning, he told Mu Chi, "Come with me to a business gathering in 2 days." "Okay, I'll spare some time for you," Mu Chi replied. She didn't know that Sheng Xiao was planning to reveal his identity that very night. She didn't think too much about it, and her mind was filled with the case of the high heels woman. Soon, Mu Chi arrived at school. However, Feng Shanshan, who had always been prideful and complacent, wasn't acting like a follower today. She was quietly sprawled over her desk, probably because she didn't sleep well last night. After school, they went to the forensics lab together. However, Mu Chi could tell that Feng Shanshan's complexion wasn't quite right. "You look worse than the corpses inside." Feng Shanshan leaned against the door and breathed rapidly, but she still helped the professor with the simulation test of the murder weapon. However, halfway through, Feng Shanshan fainted. "Take her to the hospital. She looks so pale." "Professor, please continue. I'll take her there." Right now, the entire forensics team was tied down, and only she and Feng Shanshan were interns, which wasn't that important. The professor nodded and told Mu Chi, "Take good care of her." Even though the professor was aware that the two never got along, Mu Chi was someone who could tell right from wrong. He was not at all worried that Mu Chi would cause trouble for Feng Shanshan, since she was a person who could tell right from wrong. Soon, Mu Chi sent Feng Shanshan to the hospital, where the doctor said after a checkup, "I'm afraid she can't keep the child in her womb." "Are her family here yet?" "I'm her classmate. Can I?" "I don't know her family, and I don't know how to contact them." "Okay, sign here," the doctor said to her. Another one who didn't take care of herself. After Mu Chi signed, the doctor's operation was quick. In less than an hour, Feng Shanshan was wheeled out, and she was awake. However, her complexion was very bad, and she was even more surprised when she saw Mu Chi guarding her in the hospital. If you really think you're so cool, why did you put yourself in such a mess? Do you allow a man to be selfish?" Mu Chi glared at her. "You're fine now. You can call your family yourself. I won't keep you company. I was spying on you, and you still helped me? Don't get me wrong. Everyone was busy with the experiment, and I was the only one who had the time to send you here." With that, Mu Chi turned to leave, but before she walked out of the door, she said to her, "Since you're so proud, why did you go to such a rich family? If a man really loves you, it's impossible for him not to take contraceptives." Another blind man. Feng Shanshan remembered that Lu Qianqian, who was close to Mu Chi, was also in the same situation. "You win. Now that you have something on me, you can do whatever you want. I'm not that lowly." After saying that, Mu Chi really turned around and left. Meanwhile, Feng Shanshan sat on the bed and burst into tears. She was already 22 years old. Unlike Mu Chi, if that man was reliable, she could definitely get married and have children. Unfortunately, everything was gone in one night. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Moreover, Mu Chi, don't think that I would give up on the Sheng family's money just because you helped me. Feng Shanshan thought to herself that she would still do the same thing. But Mu Chi had never been afraid. Having met Su Che at the auction, Shang Kai had a feeling that third brother might really know him. Hence, he tested him when third brother returned home. "Do you remember the person who sent you home when you had too much to drink?" Su Che had already spoken to third brother, and it was naturally easy for him to answer such questions. "I don't know him. Isn't he the bartender? I had too much to drink and was delirious." "Why are you asking about him?" "He's the person in charge of Zhongting's plot of land in the east of the city." Chapter 426. You're overthinking it. I'm just asking. Third brother nodded. All right, I'm going back to my room. Oh, by the way, I heard that there's a top business gathering in a few days. We're all going, aren't we? Sister-in-law, me, and you were all going. You know very well why you're going. He was going to look for his future wife. Third brother shrugged nonchalantly. He was only concerned if eighth brother would go. I don't know why, but even though I know that eighth brother is useless now, I still feel that he might make a comeback. I don't know if I'm being paranoid. Third brother said nothing and simply slipped into his room to sleep soundly. He could pretend he didn't know if he saw eighth brother at the business gathering. After all, who didn't know how to play dumb? After keeping a low profile for over half a year, it was time for eighth brother to show himself. Otherwise, the outside world would really think that he was crippled. Since Zhongting had tricked Huang Yao, old Sheng would definitely not go to Zhongting for in-laws. After all, Su Che had clearly told Sheng Kai that they could marry into the Sheng family if there were no girls of suitable age in their family. And since there was a grudge, they could only be enemies. Be that as it may, the people of Jianchuan had yet to meet the person in charge. Why was he acting so mysterious? There's no telling which powerful family is pulling strings behind the scenes, toying with people's hearts and making Huang Yao suffer the moment they arrived. Still, it's just a new company. Could they really fly? If the person in charge of Zhongting is really going to the business gathering, you'd better get back at me for what happened before. The old man instructed Sheng Kai. Don't worry, grandfather. I'll bring Xiling and third brother there. We wouldn't lose to Zhongting in terms of momentum. Since you've made all the arrangements, go back and rest. By the way, second brother, don't ignore Xiling's feelings just because you're worried about work. Spend more time with her when you have time. In other words, the old man was implying that he should spend more time rolling in the sheets with Xiling and having children. I understand. Speaking of children, it had already been more than half a year, but there was still no movement. He had no idea why. When he and Gu Xiling got married, she hadn't had a man yet, so there shouldn't be any problems with her body. But in the past 6 months, he hadn't used any contraceptives. How could she not get pregnant? Don't think that Sheng Kai didn't have any doubts. He was also curious about this matter. Therefore, he planned to arrange for a private doctor to do a self-examination when he had time. He would first rule out that there was no problem with his fertility. By the way, it's almost your half-year anniversary of your marriage with Xiling. You should go out and celebrate. Sheng Kai nodded, intending to book a table at Empire Hotel. Although it was a contract marriage, over the past 6 months, the couple had been acting like they were the real deal. It was hard to tell if they were acting or not. No matter what, as a husband, he had to fulfill his responsibilities. So he asked his secretary to make arrangements to book a table and prepare flowers for their half-year anniversary. Feng Shanshan had lost a child, but that be Astra-starred was drinking and dating beautiful women in a hotel. Feng Shanshan found out where her ex-boyfriend was from their mutual friend and took a taxi to Empire Hotel. She didn't want this man, but she wanted justice for the child. So she found the table where the man was having a meal with his new girlfriend in the restaurant. The man was promptly displeased when he saw her. Didn't we break up? How could you find me here? I'm here to see why a man who just dumped his ex-girlfriend 2 days ago could go on a date with a new girl as if nothing had happened. We've already broken up. What do you care? I'm not trying to care about trash like you. I just want to tell this new sister that this man never wears a condom in bed. You could get pregnant by accident and then lose it to him, just like me. The girl felt disgusted at those words and rose from the table. Sorry, I'm leaving. What do you get back by doing this? I don't want to get back anything. I just want to see you disgusted. Slap. There was a loud noise, and Feng Shanshan was slapped in public just like that. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Meanwhile, Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling were in the open-air restaurant. Feeling their mood affected by the commotion, they called for the hotel manager. What are the security guards doing in this hotel? I'm really sorry. Chief Sheng and Mrs. Sheng. We'll take care of it right away. With that, the hotel manager led the security guards to Feng Shanshan and the scumbag. I'm sorry, but could you please leave? You've seriously disturbed other customers. I'm your VVIP, the scumbag shouted. You just have to chase this woman out. Feng Shanshan saw Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling not far away. She had seen both of them when she visited the Sheng family. Still, they probably wouldn't remember her. No, they wouldn't stand up for her even if they remembered her. Who did she think she was? In the end, it was Mu Chi-Chi who called. The professor is asking why you're not here yet. What time is it? I'm in Empire Hotel. I'm in a bit of trouble. For some reason, Feng Shanshan had the illusion that Mu Chi-Chi might be willing to help her. In Mu Chi-Chi's opinion, that woman loved to torment. Of course, she could understand that Feng Shanshan's current mood was exactly the same as Lu Qianshan's before. Even so, wouldn't you be digging your own grave if you went looking for trouble? Miss, please leave. My friend will be here soon. Feng Shanshan said. Feng Shanshan, this is the first time I've realized that you're so annoying and despicable. This time, Feng Shanshan didn't hold back and promptly slapped the scumbag across his face. You don't deserve to call me by my name. Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling were sitting nearby. Unable to hold back at the commotion, he turned to the hotel manager and said, Aren't you going to ask someone like that to leave? She's affecting my anniversary with my wife. Miss, please. Hence, Feng Shanshan was escorted out of Empire Hotel by the security guards. Still, it was here that Feng Shanshan saw the disgusting faces of the Sheng family. Over the last 6 months, she had been watching over Mu Chi-Chi on old Sheng's behalf. Although she didn't expect Sheng Kai to put in a word for her, it was quite cold-blooded for him to stand by and watch. Chapter 427. When Mu Chi-Chi arrived at Empire Hotel, she found Feng Shanshan crouching at the entrance, with the hotel security standing beside her. Mu Chi-Chi walked up to her in disappointment. You're my enemy. Shouldn't you at least have the self-awareness of being my enemy? Feng Shanshan looked up, her face streaked with tears. All she felt was that she was ridiculous, pathetic, and trampled upon. Now, I finally understand the benefits of being rich. Don't tell me you're even more perverted after being provoked. Mu Chi-Chi pulled her up from the stairs. If a person wants to be respected, money is secondary. First, you have to think highly of yourself. Having a rich boyfriend would certainly satisfy your vanity, but don't forget that rich young masters are not to be trifled with. Don't you regret ruining the crown prince? Why should I? Mu Chi-Chi was so angry that she almost laughed. Although I don't want to admit it, your ability is indeed extraordinary. With these, you can also reap a good life. Why must you go to a fancy trash can to find a man? I didn't expect that I have such a high opinion of you. Hurry up and clean up your ugly face. Report to the forensics lab. Mu Chi-Chi did not want to waste any more time on Feng Shanshan. However, that scumbag of a boyfriend had just stepped out of the hotel. When they saw each other, they hurriedly approached. You slut, you haven't left yet. Great. Helpless, Mu Chi-Chi went up to him and pushed him away. I know you don't care that Feng Shanshan had a child in her, but you should do some good for yourself. The scumbag laughed when he saw that it was Mu Chi-Chi. And here I was wondering who it was. I didn't expect it to be the bride. Mu Chi-Chi. What? You ruined the crown prince. And now you want to drag another man down with you? Are you sure you want to fight me head-on with your meager assets? Mu Chi-Chi asked in return. Who knows? You might end up worse than Feng Shanshan tomorrow. Considering her identity as a member of the Shun family, the scumbag did not dare to spout nonsense. So, he found an excuse to warn Feng Shanshan, don't ever appear in front of me again. Otherwise, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Scum like him, you still don't want to admit it? Were you blind before? Feng Shanshan had nothing to say. In fact, she felt that she was quite a scumbag. Now, it was just retribution. After thinking it through, Feng Shanshan wiped away her tears and said to Mu Chi-Chi, Let's go. Let's go there now. Don't think I'll give in to you just because you helped me. Do I need you to let me? Both of them quickly rushed to the forensics lab, but the couple who had been enjoying a candlelit dinner at Empire had left the hotel as well. Still, when the waiter helped him get the car, he heard that Mu Chi-Chi had been there just now. Although they were both in Jinchuan, it had been over half a year since he last saw Mu Chi-Chi. He didn't know whether the woman who ruined eighth brother's future had become more tricky and difficult to deal with. Come to think of it, the Shun family's upbringing isn't too good. There's no telling how long Shang Xiao could tolerate Mu Qiqi if he goes. No matter how long he can tolerate, the Shang family can't let him come back. Shen Kai told his wife coldly. His mood had changed the most over the last 6 months. Sheng Xiao did not want anything back then. He just wanted Mu Qiqi alone, leaving behind the huge business of Huang Yao. He had gone through so much to bring Huang Yao to a higher level, and he would never be so generous as to hand over his fruits of labor. Moreover, he liked the feeling of dominating others. Still, the girl who caused trouble just now was hired by Grandpa. Aren't we being a little unreasonable for not saying a word for her? Gu Xiling was still keeping the matter in mind. Still, she wasn't really concerned about Feng Shanshan. She simply wanted to test Sheng Kai and see if he was paying attention to that girl. Sheng Kai shook his head and opened the car door for Gu Xiling. She's hired by Grandpa. What does it have to do with us? Gu Xiling was only satisfied then. Little did she know that she had almost knelt for Feng Shanshan later. Feng Shanshan's love and hate were both strong, and she naturally held a grudge against Sheng Kai and his wife. As for Mu Qiqi, she felt that she and Mu Qiqi were very much alike now. Who wouldn't go crazy around people like the Sheng family? It was clear from how old Sheng had paid her to keep an eye on Mu Qiqi for half a year that the old man's strong desire for control was evident. When they returned to the forensics lab, there was a new breakthrough in the case of the high heels. First, they had confirmed that the murder weapon was an extremely sharp knife, and that the knife was made with the aid of a certain instrument, which was why it didn't take much effort to cut off the victim's limbs. Secondly, he confirmed the connection between the high heels. All 3 girls had bought them from the same online store. With this information, they could lock onto the next shoe buyer and ensure their safety. Both Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan breathed a sigh of relief when they had a clue. At the very least, there would always be good things happening, and not everything would be so terrible. Unwittingly, it was late into the night. When Mu Qiqi was about to leave, Feng Shanshan suddenly told her, "Do you know why I was chased out of the hotel?" Mu Qiqi frowned. Because the current crown prince of the Sheng family and his new wife were celebrating their 6-month anniversary up there, and he said that I was disturbing them. So, the Sheng family is really annoying. Mu Qiqi sneered and returned home. She felt much more relaxed now that there was a clue to the case. Still, she was a little tired after so many things had happened today. Come to think of it, Feng Shanshan is really an idiot. She knew that going to that scumbag was overestimating herself, and yet she still went for it. Perhaps she wanted to die with him? Sheng Xiao smiled softly. Blah, that scumbag wouldn't be hurt even if she blew herself up 10 times. Mu Qiqi retorted. That's why a girl has to be clear about people. And did you know Xiao Xiao? Second brother has really changed a lot. He's so powerful now. I've never doubted his ability, but he's never been a strong-willed person. That was why Sheng Xiao trusted third brother more than Shen Kai. And as it turned out, he had the right eye. Chapter 428. That's why I'm bringing you to the business gathering in a few days. I know, Xiao Xiao, but can't you make that scumbag Feng Shanshan pay the price first? He provoked me today. He said that I ruined you. Mu Qiqi was angry at the thought. Duan Xiao, and was punished because Lu Qianqian was born into a rich family and could suppress the Duan family. But now, Feng Shanshan was really worrying. Her IQ and EQ were worrying. In any case, she was popular in school. But what use was that? Since when did you get so close to Feng Shanshan? I have a feeling that we could use Feng Shanshan in the end to send the wrong message to that old man of the Sheng family. Sheng Xiao did not believe her nonsense, but he would definitely avenge Mu Qiqi, because that scumbag had upset his Xiao Qi. Feng Shanshan had thought that Mu Qiqi would spread the news of her pregnancy and miscarriage after being disgusted by her for so long. But when she went to school, she found out that Mu Qiqi was not interested in that at all. She was gauging the heart of a gentleman with her own mean measure. She thought of all the things she had gone through before. But in the end, it was Mu Chi-Chi, her enemy, who treated her the best. She would continue to follow up with the Sheng family. She had been monitoring Mu Chi-Chi for so long, and she did not think that she should give up on the old man's money. But it was entirely up to her to say what she wanted to say to the old man. At the very least, she was quite disgusted by Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling at the moment. But from Sheng Kai's point of view, it was not easy for him to promise Gu Xiling that he would keep her company. In the end, it was ruined by her and that scumbag of a rich man. Naturally, he was unhappy. Fortunately, the two of them had a tacit understanding last night. Gu Xiling did not get upset because of what happened in the hotel, so he was relieved. Over the last 6 months, Gu Xiling rarely caused trouble. She was dedicated to being his wife and helping him take care of the Sheng family. It would be a lie to say that he was not moved. Still, he was a little worried that the child they had been looking forward to for so long did not come. The next morning, Sheng Kai entered the dining room with a radiant face. Seeing the old man sipping tea at the head of the table, he said, "Grandfather, Xiling and I saw the girl you often see at Empire Hotel yesterday. It seems that she broke up with her boyfriend, and her character is really bad. Are you sure she's reliable?" Grandpa Sheng looked up at Sheng Kai and said coldly, "What does it have to do with you? You just take care of your Huang Yao. You don't have to worry about this girl's character. It's fine as long as she is Mu Chi-Chi's enemy." Sheng Kai nodded. "That's true. Go home early and spend more time with Xiling." Wasn't the old man urging them to hurry up and have children? "Yes, Grandpa. Still, you've had that girl keep an eye on Mu Chi-Chi for so long." "Is there any news from Sheng Xiao?" As soon as the old man heard the words eighth brother, anger immediately appeared on his face. After all, whether it was Sheng Xiao or eighth brother, their names were taboo to the Sheng family. Sheng Kai didn't dare to ask more questions, so he quietly ate his breakfast. Later, third brother came downstairs, looking a little dazed. "See if there are any suitable girls at the business gathering in 2 days. You're not young anymore, and you're still single. Don't you think it's embarrassing? Not marrying Zhongting?" Third brother asked mockingly. "Why would I have a grandson like you?" Third brother pursed his lips and said nothing. Ever since eighth brother left, the sharp conflict in the family had calmed considerably, mainly because third brother had a strong will to live and was good at smoothing things over. Still, he knew that it was temporary. After the business gathering, the Sheng family would probably blow up again. After Feng Shanshan had a falling out with her scumbag ex-boyfriend at Empire Hotel, her ex-boyfriend had left her things at his doorstep and called her on purpose, telling her to go get them. In truth, he was trying to humiliate her. After all, Feng Shanshan was the one who had mocked him in public that day. Moreover, the little beauty he was going out with was ignoring him. Feng Shanshan was in the forensics lab when she answered the call and found that Mu Chi-Chi was looking at her when she hung up. "Is eavesdropping a habit of yours? I just don't get it. Why do you have that scumbag's number in your phone?" Mu Chi-Chi crossed her arms and shook her head. "Besides, are you really that stupid? Are you really going to be greedy for those things? I don't think those things are important, but the only photo of my parents is in my suitcase. I have to get it back." Feng Shanshan replied. "He wouldn't be so kind as to let you get it. If it were me, I would just throw it away. Isn't that scumbag's intentions obvious? It's none of your business." With those words, Feng Shanshan took off her white coat and left the forensics lab. Of course, Mu Chi-Chi wouldn't stick to the cold shoulder since Feng Shanshan had put it that way. She simply called Sheng Xiao, even though she felt that it was a waste of his time. Su Che quickly received Sheng Xiao's order to contact the scumbag's parents. It was easy to deal with someone like that since it was just a small company. Feng Shanshan returned the car to the scumbag and hailed a cab to his mansion. However, when the scumbag saw Feng Shanshan, he pointed at a nearby trash can and said, "Your things are in there. You want them? Go get them yourself." Feng Shanshan knew that it would be such humiliation, and she had to admit that being with that scumbag had pushed her to the limit of her tolerance. That was why she went to the trash can without a word and started a search for the photo. But when she started to stink, the scumbag took out the photo from his pocket and said, "Are you looking for this?" Feng Shanshan's eyes reddened when she saw the photo in his hand. Give it back. I know you care about your parents, but it's a pity that it's useless for you to keep it. They've already started their own families, so why don't I tear it for you? With that, the photo was torn into two halves in the scumbag's hand. We've been together for years. Why must you be so ruthless? Feng Shanshan asked with a trembling voice. Chapter 429. Give me back the photo. You can do whatever you want. That was the most important thing to Feng Shanshan. Even if the scumbag tore it apart, she wanted the pieces of the photo. Then come here and kneel before me. The scumbag hooked his finger at Feng Shanshan. Can't you let me go for the sake of my miscarriage? I told you to scram before, but you insisted. Now I've changed my mind. The scumbag arched a brow and placed the photo on the table in front of him. Come here and kneel before me to apologize. I'll let you take the photo away. Feng Shanshan swallowed her anger. She had no other choice but to walk up to the scumbag and kneel on the green grass. Then the scumbag kicked her to the ground. You be *TCH. You embarrass me in public. I'll make you happy. Feng Shanshan lay on the ground and clenched her fists. She could not fight back. At that moment, the scumbag's parents suddenly drove up to their son's villa. When the scumbag saw his parents' car parked at the door, he quickly helped Feng Shanshan up from the ground. Shanshan, why did you fall to the ground? He asked with hypocrisy. The scumbag's father was not fooled. After getting out of the car, he walked up to his son, picked up a stool beside him, and smashed it on his back. The scumbag fell to the ground and rolled around in pain. Come in. His imposing figure dragged the scumbag into the living room with an absolute aura. Along the way, the scumbag let out a series of screams. In fact, the parents had already arrived when Feng Shanshan was rummaging through the trash. 2 days ago, someone from Zhongting came to discuss a takeover. They did not know the reason, but today they called him and told him to go home and teach his son a lesson. If he had not seen the scumbag humiliating a girl, he would have thought himself innocent. However, after seeing what his son had done, as a father, he couldn't say anything. He did not know that he had raised such a scumbag. Feng Shanshan was helped into the living room by the scumbag's mother. They knew that their son had a girlfriend, but they had never met her in an ordinary family. They did not expect that their first meeting would be under such circumstances. Feng Shanshan did not know what was going on. She followed him into the living room of the villa. However, the scumbag's father found a golf club and swung it at his son. The screams came one after another. When the scum vomited blood, the scum's father finally stopped. Dad, you're going to kill me. Beating you to death is considered a light punishment. If it wasn't for breaking the law, I would have chopped you up today. The scumbag's father said to his son, Do you know that you've offended someone you shouldn't have? If the company goes bankrupt, not to mention you're now a rich second generation, I'm afraid you can only go to the streets and become a beggar. You still want a girl to kneel to you. Let me tell you, from today onwards, I won't give you a single cent. I want to see how you're going to continue fooling around. The scumbag lay on the ground moaning. After this beating, he would probably have to stay in the hospital for 10 days to half a month. Dad, our family is so rich. If you don't give it to me, who will you give it to? Even if I donate it, I won't give it to you. With that, the scumbag's father stood up from the sofa and walked to Feng Shanshan. I didn't know this animal was such a thing. I heard that you lost your body because of him 2 days ago. I don't have anything here, and I don't know how to compensate you. I can only express my sincerity and hope that you can live a happy life in the future. Feng Shanshan looked at the father and did not take the check. She only said, I haven't used his money in the years I've been with him, so I won't take it now. I've driven the sports car and other things, but I've returned them. I broke the card he gave me as a breakup fee and threw it away. I only want the photos of my parents. With that, Feng Shanshan turned around and planned to leave the scumbag's house. When the scumbag's father heard what Feng Shanshan said, he kicked the scumbag a few more times. I hope that when you go back, Miss Feng, you can put in a good word for me in front of the person in charge of Zhongting. I will definitely take care of my son later. Feng Shanshan did not understand what the father meant. She simply picked up the photo of her parents from the garden and left the scumbag's house. At the very least, she had seen the scumbag get beaten up with her own eyes just now, and it was a relief. Still, she did not believe that it was a coincidence that her parents came, especially when the scumbag's father told her to put in a good word for him in front of the person in charge of enchanting. How would she know the person in charge of enchanting? The only person who would poke her nose into such matters was Muchichi. Wait, Muchichi? Enchanting? Although Feng Shanshan was kicked, it was not a heavy one. Compared to the pain that the scumbag had suffered just now, it was nothing. Later, Feng Shanshan returned to the forensics lab and stuck the photo with a transparent tape before carefully putting it back in her pocket. Muchichi said when she saw it when she was done with her experiment, "I couldn't tell that you're such a filial son. Why are you always peeking at others? Get straight. You're in the forensics lab, and such an obvious place is for people to see. You could have stuck it back at home otherwise." Feng Shanshan had nothing to say. Pausing for a moment, she then said, "You helped me today, didn't you? What does that have to do with me? Otherwise, no one in this world would care about me," Feng Shanshan said. "The photo you saw just now was when I was 15 years old. It was the last photo of my parents before they divorced. After that, the two of them started their own families. Other than giving me a fixed amount of money every month, they didn't ask about anything else. But why would I tell you that? What happened to you at the Mu family back then is no less spread and not much better than me." Muchichi said nothing and simply washed the utensils in silence. "Your family built Zhongteng, didn't they? Or perhaps the crown prince built it. How so? Otherwise, I can't think of any other reason why someone from Zhongteng would help an annoying stranger like me." At those words, Muchichi turned to look at Feng Shanshan. "So, are you going to tell the Sheng family?" Feng Shanshan smiled, but said nothing. Chapter 430. Come to think of it, it was time for her to complain to the Sheng family. One night later, Feng Shanshan asked Muchichi as she was leaving the forensics lab, "Do you want me to tell the Sheng family? I really don't need that. It's up to you." The two of them still maintained this kind of atmosphere. As long as they were together, they would be at daggers drawn. Especially in school, Feng Shanshan still had many good friends, while Muchichi was still a lone wolf. But for now, Feng Shanshan would not really cause trouble for Muchichi in private. In fact, on the surface, the two of them seemed to be competing with each other, but in fact, they were both cool and had done many things for each other. Muchichi mainly treated Feng Shanshan because of the miscarriage and the scumbag. Feng Shanshan, on the other hand, blocked a lot of rumors for Muchichi. Naturally, the main reason was still the Sheng family. As a matter of fact, old Sheng would sometimes have Feng Shanshan come to him if he wanted to know something, and at other times, he would go to her personally. However, the matter with Muchichi had become more and more boring over the last 6 months. That was why the old man had been too lazy to seek her out and would have her come by herself, with the butler bringing her to the old man's study. It was the same on this night. Feng Shanshan followed the old butler when she arrived at the Sheng residence. Along the way, she met the other members of the Sheng family, including Gu Xiling. Gu Xiling recognized Feng Shanshan at once and asked the butler, "Did Grandpa bring this woman in again?" "Young madam, it's Grandpa's business. Servants like us shouldn't ask." Gu Xiling, dressed in a long white dress, glared at Feng Shanshan imperiously. "We've met at Empire Hotel. I remember." Feng Shanshan's words held a hidden meaning. "I don't understand why Grandpa would think so highly of you. Perhaps you have something special about you, but I was a little surprised when I saw you that day at the hotel. I think that you should at least maintain your basic manners as a woman and don't cross the line again. I don't think I have to listen to your teachings, young madam." Feng Shanshan retorted stubbornly, before turning to the old butler. "Let's hurry inside." Gu Xiling was stunned. It seemed to be the first time she met such a stubborn person. No, it was the second time. Muchichi was one of them. Was that why the old man valued this woman so much that she kept an eye on Muchichi? Birds of a feather really do flock together. Feng Shanshan did not take Gu Xiling's words to heart. She only had one boss, and that was Grandpa Sheng. A moment later, the two of them entered the old master's study, where the old master was practicing calligraphy. "Chairman, I'm here to report, as usual. There's nothing special. Let's go back," Grandpa Sheng said. "However, you haven't seen Sheng Xiao even once in such a long time." Grandpa Sheng was always angry when others mentioned Sheng Xiao. However, he could mention it himself. That was how capricious he was. "I've only seen him once. There was a murder in the middle of the night. He drove Mu Chi-Chi to the crime scene. He was driving a very ordinary car, and he looked very dispirited," Feng Shanshan replied. "He doesn't look like the handsome crown prince at all. What can you do even if you're willing to be ruined by that bitch? In the future, you can come here once every 2 weeks. Or, if you have any special discoveries, you can come here directly. I see that the young madam of your family doesn't like me. I'll call you from now on," Feng Shanshan suggested. After all, the Sheng family isn't a place commoners like us can just come in. The old man frowned at that, but nodded. "That works." The family was so arrogant that they considered themselves kings and emperors. And when Feng Shanshan left the Sheng family's residence, the servants kept a close eye on her. Were they afraid that a commoner like her would steal something? It was no wonder Mu Chi-Chi hated the Sheng family so much. There was no normal person who wouldn't hate such a family. Their eyes were all on top of their heads. After leaving the Sheng family's residence, Feng Shanshan turned to look at the huge mansion. They had a lot of money, but they were really stupid. Sheng Xiao had kept a low profile and built Zhongting in just half a year, widening the horizons of everyone in Jianchuan. And yet, this family was so short-sighted. It was no wonder Jianchuan lived up to its reputation. She really wanted to know what the family's expression would be when they realized the relationship between Zhongting and Sheng Xiao. Meanwhile, Mu Chi-Chi was leaning on Sheng Xiao's body and reading past cases. Still, when she remembered that Feng Shanshan had gone to the Sheng family, she tugged at Sheng Xiao's sleeve and asked, "Do you think Feng Shanshan would tell the Sheng family about your relationship with Zhongting? Don't you know the answer in your heart?" Sheng Xiao glared at her. "Do you really need me to praise your wisdom and decisiveness?" Mu Chi-Chi laughed and wrapped her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck. "I heard that Feng Shanshan's ex-boyfriend was sent to the hospital after being beaten up by his own father. Su Che is so reassuring. You vented your anger?" "Of course I've vented my anger with my husband. It feels good." Sheng Xiao pressed down on Mu Chi-Chi's head to stop her from moving around. This little one was getting better and better at flattering people. He wondered if there would come a day when she would climb onto his head and pee on it. "So, when is the business gathering?" "In 2 days," Sheng Xiao replied. "I'm getting a little excited just thinking about it." Mu Chi-Chi chuckled. On the next day, Mu Chi-Chi and Feng Shanshan ran into each other in school. The professor called them to inform them that the case of the high heels corpse had been solved. Both of them shared a look, but neither said a word. No one could understand this kind of love-hate relationship. It turned out that the culprit was the lover of the shoe shop owner. She would wear those heels every time they went on a date, which left a deep mark in his heart. Later, when he found out that the woman was wearing red heels with someone else, he killed her in a fit of impulse, chopping off her limbs and throwing her into the sewers. From then on, he hated anyone who bought these red high heels. That was why he pretended to be the man's lover and continued selling shoes online. He would get the address of anyone who bought those red heels and kill them to vent his anger. To experience that pleasure, he even built a machine with his own hands that could instantly remove the limbs of a corpse. Chapter 431. The top business gathering would be held in the Grand Houston Square in a day's time. On that day, the representative of Zhongting would really be there. This time, it was not a fake news. But before that, Shang Kai took the time to do a physical checkup. Once the results were out, his personal doctor immediately called him and asked him to make time to see the doctor. Shang Kai did not tell Gu Xiling about it. It was a man's pride anyway. So, his personal doctor was personally invited to his office by his assistant and brought his checkup report. "Chief Sheng, I'm afraid you need to go to the hospital for a more comprehensive checkup. The doctor suggested as he placed his examination report on the table. I suspect that you have immune infertility. Sheng Kai's expression changed when he heard that. Explain clearly. The doctor took some time to explain to Sheng Kai the cause of immune infertility and the consequences of it. But there is no big problem in that aspect of my life. There may be a hereditary history, the doctor explained. Can it be treated? Of course, but I need your cooperation. Sheng Kai could cooperate, but he did not want anyone to know that he could not have a child, especially Gu Xiling. It was a man's pride. I can cooperate, but I must make sure that no one else knows. With his current physical condition, it was almost impossible to get Gu Xiling pregnant. So, that night, even when Gu Xiling took the initiative to invite him, he did not have the intention. Instead, he was in a state of alertness and irritation. What's wrong? Gu Xiling had never seen him like this. I'm just too tired from work. It's nothing. Go to sleep. Sheng Kai explained and comforted Gu Xiling. Gu Xiling thought that he was under too much pressure, so she didn't ask much and quickly fell asleep. However, Sheng Kai couldn't fall asleep no matter how hard he tried. He could not even give Gu Xiling a child. If this matter were to spread, his reputation as the CEO of Huang Yao and the head of the Sheng family would be ruined. He would become a laughingstock. After all, not many men could endure such humiliation. The next day, Sheng Xiao went to the Shun family before heading to Zhongting. After all, Shun Jianchuan was the one who made him who he was, which was why in his heart, Shun Jianchuan was his father, just like Papa Sheng. The reason why he went to the Shun family was to ask Shun Jianchuan if he wanted to attend the business gathering that night. Shun Jianchuan knew that he had already decided to reveal his identity. He did not want to monopolize this identity, so he was willing to share it with him. However, Shun Jianchuan was more willing to be the person behind the scenes. After all, it was the era of the young. It was safer for the older generation to hide at the back. I will remember your kindness, but I hope that you will use your kindness on my daughter. I am satisfied with your performance so far. As for the business gathering, it is an occasion for you youngsters. I will stay at home and fish with the old man. Shun Jianchuan had his reasons for not attending. After all, the whole Shun family was in the limelight now. It was better for him to stay away from them, so that his brother could be the mayor for a longer time. When she turns 20, I plan to bring her abroad for registration. It doesn't matter if you have that piece of paper. Shun Jianchuan was not in a hurry. He wanted to keep his daughter for a few more years anyway. Dad, you should find yourself a partner. Shun Jianchuan smiled and waved for Sheng Xiao to leave. Go do what you need to do. Why bother with an idler like me? Sheng Xiao did not stay long at the Shun family. Their houses were too close, and it was convenient for them to visit each other. Still, before Sheng Xiao went to Zhongting, he told Su Che to send the gown he had made for Cher to the villa so that she could try it on. Now, the little one's figure was becoming more voluptuous. Sheng Xiao did not want other men to stare at her, but he did not want to overshadow her beauty either. Tonight, let's watch a good show. The Sheng family would not be prepared for it, since Sheng Xiao had hidden it too well over the last 6 months. And Jingyun would attend the gathering with Sheng Minglan. Of course, all he was interested in was watching the Sheng family put on a good show. At 6 in the evening, Sheng Minglan was changing at home. When she saw that Jingyun had changed too, she said, "Why don't we go with Chi-Chi? Let them go alone. It will be more surprising that way." Sheng Minglan thought about it and nodded. She felt a surge of emotions at the thought of Sheng Xiao returning to his peak. Meanwhile, third brother had changed into a dark green suit and a bow tie as he came downstairs. When he saw that Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling were dressed up, he gave him a thumbs up. What a perfect match. Sheng Kai was wearing a dark blue handmade suit, while Gu Xiling was wearing a white halter dress. Although they were beautiful in such cold weather, were they not afraid of catching a cold? Of course, to Sheng Kai, it was enough to save face. He had never been particularly concerned about Gu Xiling's health, especially after he found out what was wrong with him. He was even more afraid to talk about health. Hence, the trio got into the Lincoln Stretch limousine. Meanwhile, third brother was tidying his sleeves along the way and could not help mocking himself. I'm still lacking a woman. Having a lady from a good family like sister-in-law for a wife is such a relief. Grandpa is asking you to go so that you can find someone who understands you. Gu Xiling quickly said, "We'll meet the person in charge of Zhongting soon. I really want to know who the person who made me pay 6.5 billion is." Third brother pretended not to understand, and pretended to be a depressed youth as he looked out the window. Otherwise, he would have laughed out loud. It was not that he had anything against Huang Yao or his second brother, but eighth brother's brain had been specially made by God. Anyone who dared to compete with him in the business world would only be asking for humiliation. He just hoped that second brother would not have a heart attack from his anger tonight. Since he was the CEO of Huang Yao, the trio were invited to the main hall when they arrived. There were no less than 100 guests in the hall that resembled a heavenly palace. Third brother searched everywhere for Sheng Xiao, but he did not seem to have arrived. If that was the case, he could get to know the little beauty who was already there. Chapter 432. Over the last 6 months, few have seen his true face. Could he be so ugly that he doesn't dare to show his face? We're all businessmen of Jianchuan. Why would he be afraid to show his face? Didn't he make the people of Huang Yao suffer in silence just days ago? Everyone in the venue was speculating about the CEO of Zhongting. It was clear how mysterious he was and how much they wanted to scratch their hearts. But the more it was so, the more Sheng Xiao planned to arrive late. Wouldn't everyone's eyes be on him then? Soon, a Rolls-Royce Phantom stopped at the entrance of the venue. Sheng Xiao was dressed in a vintage flaxen suit and led Mu Chi-Chi, who was wearing a starry sky dress, into the venue. Am I seeing things? Why do I see Sheng Xiao coming in? I think I see him too. Is Sheng Xiao here? The man who had shaken the world half a year ago was rumored to have been utterly ruined by a woman. Why would he be here at such a grand business gathering today? Moreover, looking at his appearance, he looked so heroic and vigorous. Where did he look like he was defeated? Everyone in the venue watched as Sheng Xiao led Mu Chi-Chi and Su Che into the venue. Of course, the esteemed guests did not seem to have connected Sheng Xiao with Zhongting, and were therefore very puzzled by his arrival. Only the bigwigs who worked with Sheng Xiao quickly came up and shook his hand. "Chief Sheng, we welcome you." "Yeah, I thought you wouldn't come to a gathering like this since you're so busy every day." Sheng Xiao smiled in return and turned to Sheng Kai nearby. "Wait, what's going on? Isn't the Crown Prince of Huang Yao second young master Sheng Kai now? Don't talk nonsense. Chief Sheng coming to the gathering has nothing to do with Huang Yao, because he's now the CEO of Zhongting." A friend who was close to Sheng Xiao explained for him. With his explanation, everyone came to a sudden realization. So he's the CEO of Zhongting. Oh my God, this means that he has been developing the military industry for the past 6 months. It's not like what the rumors say, that his future was ruined by a woman. Now, all the guests were shocked. The former crown prince of Huang Yao, whom they thought would never rise again in this lifetime, had developed an impressive military enterprise in just half a year. Sheng Xiao had thought that there was nothing left after he left Huang Yao. In the end, he became the CEO of Zhongting. This was probably the most powerful slap in the face in the world, right? Listening to the shocked voices of the guests, one could tell how much Sheng Xiao had shocked them. Not far away, Sheng Kai was in disbelief too. Grandpa had sent someone to keep an eye on Mu Chi-Chi. Everyone in the Shun family had said that Sheng Xiao was a poor son-in-law. But who would have thought that? This person actually managed to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Actually, he had long been full of ambition and was already plotting something else. No. Sheng Kai felt humiliated because it meant that Sheng Xiao did not care for Huang Yao at all. That was why he left the Sheng family in such a manner and established Zhongting in just half a year. This person did not just betray his family. And it was not just Sheng Kai. Even Gu Xiling, who was standing beside Sheng Kai, had to admit that no matter how hard Sheng Kai worked, the gap between an ordinary person and a genius was clear. Everyone else would pale in comparison when they were in the same space as Sheng Xiao. Even though he didn't appear in such an arrogant manner, appearing quietly and normally as a person in charge, he was still so dazzling that it made others feel ashamed of their own inferiority. I really didn't expect that Sheng Xiao would be Sheng Xiao. What a shock. The guest discussion grew louder and louder. It was only then that Jing Yun led Sheng Minglan to Sheng Xiao. "Hello, Chief Sheng." Sheng Xiao reached out and shook Jing Yun's hand. "We might have a chance to work together." In just half a year, Sheng Xiao had become much more mature. The sharpness around him had faded, and he no longer had the sense of danger that people could see from him wherever he went. As expected of someone who caught Secretary He's eye, he didn't disappoint us. "Chief Sheng, I look forward to working with you." Sheng Xiao thanked all the guests who came up to him before turning his eyes to Sheng Kai. In that very moment, Sheng Kai's existence was a joke. He picked up Huang Yao that Sheng Xiao did not want. He picked up the woman that Sheng Xiao did not want. At first, he thought that he was shouldering the responsibility of the family. But now, it seemed that the entire Sheng family was nothing more than chess pieces on Sheng Xiao's chessboard. Gu Xiling could empathize with Sheng Kai's feelings, because she was feeling complicated as well. Even so, it was precisely because of such an occasion that she should not lose face. "Let's go and say hello." Sheng Kai walked stiffly to Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi and said through clenched teeth, "Nice move. You've turned everyone in the Sheng family into a joke. It's my business how I develop after I left the Sheng family. Why would I make the Sheng family feel so bad now that I've become successful?" Sheng Xiao asked in return. "Now that you're the high and mighty CEO of Zhongting and all the bigwigs in Jianchuan are your friends, is there a need for you to talk to old people like us who have no power? Just a few days ago, you had your assistant humiliate me at the auction. Sheng Xiao, don't you think you're so great? Abandoning Huang Yao to build Zhongting?" Sheng Xiao said nothing in response to Sheng Kai's question, but Mu Qiqi did. In half a year, she had become even more mature and beautiful. "Don't think too highly of yourselves. Xiao Xiao left the Sheng family to escape old Sheng's control. Don't you know what's bothering you? It's been half a year, and you're still as sharp as ever." Sheng Kai retorted. "You're the one who took him away." Sheng Xiao was fine at home back then, and would he have left if not for you? "So, I've given you the position of the CEO, the shares, and you become the boss. Now, you're blaming Xiao Xiao for abandoning his responsibilities? Aren't you AB*TCH now?" Mu Qiqi was not to be outdone. "Why is the Sheng family so hateful? Why is everyone so full of themselves? When you want Sheng Xiao to manage Huang Yao, he has to work without complaint, and when you want power, you kick him out and send people to keep an eye on him every day. Now, you're jealous when he's making it big?" Mu Qiqi. Sheng Kai's voice was a little louder now. Chapter 433. Gu Xiling stopped Sheng Kai at that and stared at them. "If you're here to show off today, you've achieved your goal. Can you let us go now? You're the ones who won't let go of yourselves." Mu Qiqi replied, "Let me formally introduce you. This is Sheng Xiao, the CEO of Zhongting. He has nothing to do with the Sheng family, and we should draw a clear line between us in the future." Sheng Xiao did not say a word from start to end, and merely stroked the angry little tiger in his arms. She was still the same, fuming at the sight of the Sheng family. They were not exactly flaunting their prowess, because Sheng Xiao was not here for the Sheng family at all. What was Huang Yao now? In Sheng Xiao's eyes, it was nothing more than a passing cloud. After that, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi chatted warmly with the guests, and everyone's opinion of Sheng Xiao changed greatly. They only felt that he was young and hot-blooded, and not to be trifled with, and always carried a hint of violence when he appeared. Now, he appeared much gentler and more composed. But only Mu Qiqi knew that the man's level of black-bellied schemes was incurable, and there was no antidote. Feeling humiliated, Sheng Kai went to the garden with Gu Xiling for a breath of fresh air. "I still don't know how to tell grandfather about this." Gu Xiling thought about it and told Sheng Kai, "Grandfather found someone to keep an eye on them, but it's useless. You can't be blamed. I really didn't expect Shang Xiao to have this trick up his sleeve, playing everyone like monkeys. If you think this gathering is boring, let's find an excuse to leave. Shang Kai shook his head and calmed himself. Will be a joke if we leave just like that. Gu Xiling did not know why he had to be so stubborn. He clearly could not stand Sheng Zhao's presence, and yet he was forcing himself to stay. All right, I'll go with you. I saw Sheng Zhao's assistant just now. He's the one who sent third brother home, but third brother said he doesn't know him. It was clear that third brother knew about Zhongting all along and just did not tell them. That third brother really is a traitor. Calling him a traitor? That was completely non-existent. After all, third brother did not take it to heart at all. No matter how the old man blamed him, he would insist that he did not know. What could the family do to him? Moreover, he was truly proud of eighth brother's success. Especially after seeing the changes in his eighth brother in the past half a year, he felt that only a person with a big picture would be able to succeed. Sheng Zhao's stunning appearance soon became a hot topic in the circle, and the three scions who wanted him to kneel finally came out and told the truth. Actually, it was Sheng Xiao who taught us a lesson. Now that I think about it, the crown prince is still the crown prince. Because of Sheng Zhao's presence, the business gathering became his personal show, while the others were overshadowed. In the end, Sheng Kai did not stay until the end. Whenever he thought of Sheng Xiao abandoning Huang Yao and going to Zhongting, he felt disgusted. When he left with Gu Xiling, he did not even call out to third brother. Since third brother and eighth brother were close, he should go ahead. When they got home, Grandpa Sheng was watching TV in the living room. He placed his hands on his walking stick, his face expressionless. When Sheng Kai saw that, he walked up to the old man. Grandfather, Grandpa Sheng looked at the time and answered, "You're back so early. Did something happen?" "There's something I want to tell you, but I'm afraid you'll get emotional after you hear it." "Tell me, what else have I not experienced?" Grandpa Sheng smiled coolly. Sheng Kai took a deep breath and glanced at Gu Xiling. After getting her permission, he told the old man, "We met the person in charge of Zhongting at the gathering today." "And then?" "It's Sheng Xiao." The old man did a double take at that. "Who are you talking about?" "Sheng Xiao." So, after he left Huang Yao half a year ago, no, before that, he had founded Zhongting, but never announced it to the public and treated everyone like fools. Isn't it a slap in the face for the Sheng family when he suddenly appeared before everyone today? Sheng Kai became increasingly agitated as he spoke. As if he did not hear him clearly, the old man asked again, "Who are you talking about?" "Sheng Xiao." The old man promptly flipped the table in front of him at that, shattering the glass on the floor. Gu Xiling was stunned. She had never seen such a huge reaction from the old man, and it was clear that the hatred in his heart was still as heavy as ever, especially now that Sheng Xiao had made a comeback. Could the old man feel good about that? Obviously, it was impossible. Later, the old man returned to his study and called his various friends to confirm the news. Sheng Xiao had become the CEO of Zhongting, and he was actually doing better after abandoning the Sheng family? No, he could not accept such an outcome. As for Sheng Kai, he waited in the living room, wanting to know when third brother would return. The old man was slumped in his study, while Sheng Kai was in the living room. Both grandfather and grandson were in a terrible mood. However, third brother only returned home after the gathering was over, reeking of alcohol, which infuriated Sheng Kai even more. "Did you already know that Zhongting belongs to Sheng Xiao?" Third brother promptly turned to the sofa when he heard that. When he saw Sheng Kai sitting there, he walked up to him and said seriously, "I only found out about it tonight. How do you explain Sheng Zhao's assistant who sent you home the other day?" "I don't know him. We're brothers." "What's the point of pretending in front of me?" Sheng Kai suddenly asked sharply. "You're Sheng. Can't you put yourself in second brother's shoes and grandfather's shoes for a moment?" Third brother chuckled at the rebuke. "Did I ask eighth brother to go out? Did I ask him to build Zhongting? Since it wasn't me, what's the use of venting your anger on me? You should have told us earlier. Would you have destroyed it if I had?" Third brother finished Sheng Kai's words. "Second brother, you know very well what you've become over the last 6 months. I don't need to remind you how dirty and dark your heart is. I don't think Xing Xiao did anything wrong when he left, and it's only right that he build Zhongting. Why are you so angry and jealous? Chapter 434. Slap. There was a loud sound, and the living room became very quiet. Realizing that he had gone too far, Sheng Kai promptly sat back down on the sofa. Meanwhile, third brother smirked coolly, clutching his smacked cheek. Moments later, old Sheng walked out. Clearly, he had heard the conversation between the brothers, and so, leaning on his walking stick, he asked third brother, "You knew about this long ago?" Third brother nodded. "I'll say it again. I didn't know." Third brother said coldly, "Believe it or not." With that, third brother returned to his room. In the darkness, the two men were left feeling unusually resentful and upset. But who could they blame? Sheng Xiao could only be blamed for being too cunning. Even Feng Shanshan could not see through Mu Qiqi, and it appeared that the Sheng family would not be able to sleep that night. On the other hand, another group of people were seething, the magazine media. Look at how legendary Sheng Zhao's story was. Over the last 6 months, everyone had assumed that they could trample over Sheng Zhao's head. They did not expect that Sheng Xiao would be so tenacious, developing Zhongting to where it was today without anyone knowing. It was truly unimaginable, and amply proved that Sheng Zhao's ability was not something mortals could compare to. Early next morning, photos of Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi at a business gathering were published everywhere. They certainly looked like a perfect match. Papa Sheng was reading the newspaper in the dining room early in the morning, and asked when he saw Sheng Xiao coming downstairs, "How did the Sheng family look yesterday?" Second brother left halfway. Sheng Xiao replied, "His mental fortitude is really lacking even though he's the CEO of Huangyao." Papa Sheng said, putting the newspaper aside, "And don't even mention the old one in the family. Who cares about them now?" Mama Sheng came out with a glass of milk and sat beside her husband. "I just want the whole world to know about my son. It's been so stifling over the last 6 months. No matter what, you have to be careful. Your father is working all day, and I have my own things to do. You don't have to worry about danger. As for Xiao Qi, you have to take care of him." Mu Qiqi slept until the middle of the morning. It was not easy for her to have a holiday, and there were no cases in the forensics lab. That was why she did not wake up together with Sheng Xiao, and instead received a call from Feng Shanshan asking her to go out and play. "Forget it. You're still the old man's woman. I'm afraid you'll eat me up." Unexpectedly, Feng Shanshan laughed on the other end of the line. "Everyone in the world knows who the CEO of Zhongting is now. Don't you want to come out and relax? Please keep your enemy awake. I'm going back to sleep." There was no telling how old Sheng would deal with Feng Shanshan. Perhaps Feng Shanshan could handle it herself. But no matter what, she did not want innocent people to be hurt because of this matter. There was no need to say much about the atmosphere in the Sheng family. After the news spread, the entire Sheng family was gloomy, and no one expected that Sheng Xiao, who was said to be crippled yesterday, would rise again today. Of course, apart from Grandpa Sheng and Sheng Kai, Sixth brother was also very dissatisfied. "I really didn't expect that scum to make a comeback." The old man had not said a word since last night, and was still quiet at the dining table today. Everyone else did not dare to breathe too loudly, and waited for the old man to speak. "Eat. Why are you all looking at me?" "Grandfather, we're just worried about you." "What do you have to worry about?" Old Sheng seemed to have aged a few years overnight. "You don't have to do this if it's because of Sheng Xiao. I'm in good spirits. I'm not that weak yet. Xiling, stay at home today. Keep grandfather company." Sheng Kai was still worried. Gu Xiling nodded and agreed to Sheng Kai's arrangement. In truth, everyone knew that who would be happy after something like this happened? Only third brother was eating and sleeping as usual. From today onwards, third brother is suspended from his duties. Everyone did a double take, not understanding what was going on. However, third brother knew very well, and rose from the dining table after eating, completely ignoring the old man's words. At that, Sheng Kai put down his bowl and chopsticks and asked third brother, What's your attitude towards grandfather? Don't burn me if you're angry. I'm innocent. With that, third brother returned to his room. Gu Xiling had been quiet for the whole night when she saw how angry her husband and elders were, and finally could not hold back the words in her heart. Kai, grandfather, I think that Sheng Zhao's founding of Zhongting might not be a bad thing for us. Think about it. Even if Sheng Xiao left the Sheng family, the blood of the Sheng family still flows in his veins. Even if Sheng Xiao wants to draw a line between us, we won't let him. We could still use him to build momentum for ourselves, build relationships for ourselves, and increase our bargaining chips. Think about it. Zhongting might want to target us, but to the outside world, we're just like the Gu family and the Su family, giving Huang Yao another layer of assurance. If that's not profit, what is it? Sheng Kai's eyes lit up at Gu Xiling's words, while the old man's expression was no longer as somber. Since everyone can't accept Zhongting's existence, why not use it? Isn't that great? Sixth brother gave Gu Xiling a thumbs up at that. You're so smart, second sister-in-law. Yes, he abandoned us first. He didn't want Huang Yao, so why do we have to hide from him? It doesn't make sense. As expected, there were two sides to every coin. Meanwhile, Gu Xiling's words made Sheng Kai see his wife in a new light. Still, he felt even more guilty because he couldn't give Gu Xiling a child right away. That's why if Zhongting plays the high game, we'll play the high game. What's there to be afraid of? Zhongting was built by grandfather's grandson, and its grandfather's too. Who would dare to say otherwise? In short, Huang Yao was starting to be unreasonable. No, it should be called shameless. Since they were hurting each other, they would keep hurting each other to the end. With that, the old man understood because every word Gu Xiling said was right. Chapter 435. Now that Sheng Xiao had revealed his identity, it meant that he was officially operating in public in Jianchuan. Now that Sheng Xiao had leapt to become the most promising entrepreneur in the country, the media and magazines would naturally fight to interview him. There was even a TV station that invited Sheng Xiao to record a financial interview. Now that Sheng Xiao's value had naturally risen, the outside world was very curious about what had happened to him over the last 6 months. Chief, I've just received word that the Sheng family is congratulating Zhongting in public. Su Che sent the video of Sheng Kai's interview to Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao's expression did not change after he watched it, but his lips curled into a faint smile. It seems that the Sheng family is eyeing Zhongting again. I don't quite understand. Su Che said, It doesn't matter. Didn't I tell you to turn down all the magazine interviews? Now, send me all the invitations for review. Are you not going to refuse them? Sheng Xiao nodded and picked out the top magazines. Contact the editor. I agree to the interview. And the TV station's invitation. Arrange it too. The Sheng family would not be able to understand the situation if they did not make a serious statement. I'll contact them right away. In the past, Sheng Zhao's way of dealing with the old man was to meet force with force and fight until the old man admitted defeat. But now, after half a year of settling down, Sheng Xiao had no intention of contacting or clashing with the old man head-on. There are some things that could be solved with more than one way. They would be wrong to think that Sheng Zhao's temper was the same as half a year ago. Over the last few days, Huang Yao had continuously announced its stance towards Zhongting, either ambiguous or misleading, which left the outside world with the impression that the relationship between the Sheng family and Sheng Xiao had eased, leaving many to speculate. In the past, Sheng Xiao would definitely retaliate or do something drastic. But this time, Zhongting did not respond at all, which left the Sheng family unsure what Sheng Xiao was planning. He had been so excited and forceful when he trampled on others, wanting to trample Sheng Xiao into the dirt. But now that Zhongting had struck it rich, a bunch of people were rushing to make use of others, with sixth brother being the most excited. Before, when Sheng Xiao left, he could not wait for him to never return to the Sheng family. But now, he was the most excited one. Thinking about it, wasn't it ironic? As for Gu Xiling, third brother had really underestimated his second sister-in-law. He used to think that she was arrogant and virtuous, but now it seemed that she was just that. She did not have any sense of propriety at all. Third brother, you have been in contact with eighth brother for the past 6 months, right? When third brother was having lunch at home, sixth brother came up to him and said, "You're really not loyal enough to keep hiding it from your family." Enraged, third brother promptly threw away his chopsticks. "Are you going to let me eat in peace?" "Okay, I won't say it. I won't say it, okay?" Whether it's to me or to eighth brother, this family is worthy of the word haunting. With that, third brother rose to his feet and returned to his room. Now that he was suspended from work, he had no interest in going out for a stroll because he knew that old Sheng wanted him to go to Sheng Xiao. Of course he would not, since he was not sure if Sheng Xiao would reconcile with Huang Yao in the end. The Sheng family kept sending guests over the last few days. On one hand, it was to give old Sheng face, and on the other, they wanted to get some information and build a good relationship with the Sheng family as soon as possible. The guest's face was full of flattery, and third brother had a good show to watch. However, the most ironic thing was not how snobbish these guests looked, but how the old man enjoyed others' flattery and fawning so naturally. It was really a little shameless. How much did Sheng Xiao despise others when he was depressed? And now, he knew how to bask in their glory. The more he looked at the Sheng family, the stranger he found them. Every one of them was so natural, and if he were eighth brother, he would be disgusted to death. The reason Sheng Xiao was not disgusted was because he would retaliate soon. Interviews and television appearances. When Mama Sheng heard about it from Sheng Xiao during dinner, she felt that her bottom line as a human had been broken. Wait, why are the Sheng family so shameless? Mom, you don't have to be so agitated. Anyway, this matter will be cleared up soon. I've never seen such a shameless person. Mama Sheng shook her head. She felt goosebumps all over her body. Hurry up and clarify this matter. It's your father-in-law who helped you this time. Even if it's related to the Shun family, it has nothing to do with the Sheng family or the Shun family. Mu Qiqi turned to Sheng Xiao at Mama Sheng's words. I was wondering why you suddenly agreed to the interview. So it's because of this. You don't like me to be interviewed? Of course not. When you're interviewed, I'll buy 100 copies of magazines and newspapers and look at your handsome face every day. Sheng Xiao frowned at Mu Qiqi's flattering words. You're being unaccountably solicitous. Tell me, are you trying to rape me or steal me? Mu Qiqi was taken aback. Then she smiled and asked, Is it that obvious? Sheng Xiao glared at her, looking as if Mu Qiqi could never escape his grasp. Mu Qiqi admitted defeat and said, It's like this. There's a letter from another branch asking for the professor's help to solve a case together. The professor intends to bring me there to study, and since it's in the mountains, I might have to stay there for 2 days. Sheng Xiao withdrew his gaze and did not look at Mu Qiqi again. After all, they had been together for a long time and rarely separated for such a long time. Moreover, Mu Qiqi wanted to go to the mountains. It was so remote. She was dealing with murder cases now, and she did not even know that the murderer was right beside her. How could he be at ease if she went alone? You don't agree? No, but you must bring Su Che with you. It was the biggest concession Sheng Xiao could make. This time, it was Mu Qiqi who said nothing. When Mama Sheng saw that the couple was about to quarrel, she quickly said to her husband, I'm full. Come with me for a walk. But I just started eating. Papa Sheng felt very innocent. Mama Sheng winked at him, and Papa Sheng finally understood. Couldn't he just drag his wife out to make up for his meal? The dining room suddenly became quiet. When Mu Qiqi saw that Sheng Xiao was unhappy, she said, Actually, the police are everywhere. You really don't have to worry. Chapter 436. All I can tell you and teach you is that an eye for an eye is useless in the face of a ruthless murderer. I know that you're becoming more mature now, and you might not think that I'm right, but I built Zhongting to prevent others from having the chance to offend you again. If you're by my side, I can give you the most protection. But if you leave me in a place where I can't see you, I'll panic. Xiao Xiao, I know you're worried about me. but I need to grow up too. I'm not fearless just because you've given me complete protection. So, I'll only act under the protection of the police. I won't do things that could endanger my safety. Mu Chi hugged him tightly. Xiao Xiao, I know you're worried about me, but I need to grow up too. I can't bring Su Che with me because everyone on the front lines is putting their lives on the line to solve cases. I promise you that you can contact me at any time. You're here, and the one I love is here. I won't let anything happen to me. If compromised and agreed not to study because she loved him, he would feel that he was rearing a canary instead of loving a living person. Forget it. How could he have the heart to refuse his little one's wish? I promise you. Then don't be unhappy. Sheng Xiao smiled helplessly. He would spoil the person he loved, even if she was kneeling. Even so, in Mu Chi-Chi's heart, even though she was 8 years younger than Sheng Xiao, she felt the same way about him. She did not want to keep demanding things from Sheng Xiao. Instead, she hoped that this man would be happy with her, and she would want to spoil him, even if she could do very little for him. That depends on your performance tonight. You're threatening me, you filthy man. Mu Chi-Chi pouted, but she was actually feeling sweet inside. Even if Sheng Xiao was so powerful, he would still panic when he faced her. Just the thought of it was enough to make one smile uncontrollably. When are you leaving? The day after tomorrow. The professor has some things to deal with tomorrow, so he'll leave at night. Then come with me to the magazine for an interview. It was the weekend anyway, and it wouldn't affect her studies. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. She really had no way to deal with this man. Now that the Sheng family had done something so provocative, it was as if Xiao Xiao was about to return to the Sheng family. That was why they had to be prepared. Almost a day later, at the police academy, when Lin Mu was training, he seemed to have provoked a transfer student. Moreover, it was a female student with extraordinary skills. When he was in the police academy, he had always scrupulously abided by his duties and never did anything that went against the rules. However, this female classmate, on the first day she transferred to the academy, had a conflict with Lin Mu. It was all because she had broken the model that he had painstakingly made. That was for little Chili Pepper. Naturally, Lin Mu fought with his opponent. The two of them almost alerted the trainer. Lin Mu didn't have a good impression of this transfer student, but he had a feeling that this transfer student was deliberately targeting him. The next day, Lin Mu class was in an uproar. This was because this girl announced that Lin Mu was the man she liked and no one should compete with her. The students in the class all followed suit. After all, they knew that Lin Mu didn't have a girlfriend. And now, a fair-skinned and beautiful girl was interested in him. It was as if a beauty had fallen from the heavens. What was there to be dissatisfied about? I have a girlfriend. Lin Mu promptly replied. Don't waste your time on me. The girl shrugged, completely unconcerned about what he thought. Lin Mu sighed. From then on, he would keep his distance from this girl as much as he could. After all, even if he and Lu Qianqian were just buddies, he did not forget why he came back to the police academy. It was to protect the people around him and to protect little Chili Pepper. He wasn't looking forward to some campus romance, and he believed that no one was more important than little Chili Pepper. That was why he had to control his heart. Moreover, he couldn't help suspecting that his grandfather had arranged for this girl to come in and mess with his mind. Then, he would compromise in the end, and he would never fall for it. That was why he warned his roommates, I have a family, so I hope you guys can help me. I don't want any rotten girl, and she would be very sad if she knew. His roommates made an okay gesture. Who didn't have a white moon in their hearts? They naturally understood his feelings. It wasn't that Lin Mu didn't have the confidence to reject her, but he just didn't want the whole world to know about it, and then misunderstand that he was related to this girl. At that thought, he missed little Chili Pepper a little and wondered what she was doing. At that thought, he took out his phone and texted Lu Qianqian. I made a few clay figurines for you when I was bored a few days ago, but someone ruined them. TSK. Who will be so kind? I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but your clay figurines are the ugliest in the world. A girl. At the sight of those words, Lu Qianqian sat up on the bed sensitively. Are you dating someone in school? I swear, I just want to be a good student. Lin Mu replied. Lu Qianqian breathed a sigh of relief. but she still felt a sense of danger. She had never thought that Lin Mu and could have a girlfriend in school. But now, when she heard him say that it was a girl, Lu Qianqian felt suffocated. Then, do you want me to see you? I haven't been to your school for a long time. Sure. Lin Muan agreed at once. Lu Qianqian suddenly felt relieved at the word sure. Who was she to Lin Muan? Why should Lin Mu and tell her where he went and who he hung out with? But Lin Mu and had told her of his own accord, and it was nothing special to him. I'll bring you something you like tomorrow. Lin Mu and put away his phone, feeling a little relieved. At the same time, as a man with brains, he knew that he had to ask for help. And now, the only people who could help him were Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao. It had been a long time since Mu Qiqi answered Lin Muan's call. It was so difficult. You remember to call me? What is it? I want the crown prince to help me investigate someone. Lin Mu and said at once. I know it's easy for Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi didn't remember Lin Mu and being so serious, and so she agreed at once. Remember to treat me to a meal next time. Chapter 437. All right, I'll tell Xiao Xiao. Send me the girl's information, and I'll let you know at once when there's news. Thanks, Xiao Qi. Mu Qiqi was willing to help Lin Mu, and because they both knew that Lin Mu and Lu Qianqian loved each other, but neither of them had exposed that layer of paper. As for Lin Mu, and even if he was a little flirtatious and a little glib in the past, a prodigal who repents is more precious than gold. It was clear from his determination to enroll in the police academy that he was willing to give up the mountains of gold and silver at home to live the toughest life outside. He must have fallen for Lu Qianqian. With that being the case, how could they not try as friends? Soon, Lin Mu and sent her a message about the girl. Mu Qiqi was intrigued when she read it, and told Sheng Xiao, Xiao, what if this girl's appearance would become the best support for their relationship development? The Lin family is very prejudiced against Lu Qianqian. Can't you stop pouring cold water on me? I think that as long as two people work hard, some things are not as difficult as they imagine. If you could break free from the shackles of the Sheng family, why can't Lin Muan? Sheng Xiao received the message and sent it to Su Che, asking for an answer as soon as possible. By the way, you have an interview tomorrow. Rest early today, Mu Qiqi said, tugging at Sheng Xiao's black pajamas. Go to sleep first. I still have some documents to read. Sheng Xiao said, patting her head. In fact, he knew what she was hinting at, and was teasing her. Do you think I don't know that these aren't urgent documents? Sheng Xiao put down the documents at her words and looked at Mu Qiqi with a half-smile. How do you know they aren't urgent? Look at the time, Xiao Xiao. I'm not sleeping at this time usually. Sheng Xiao continued to pretend not to understand her invitation. Knowing that he was doing it on purpose, Mu Qiqi did not try to persuade him, and simply rose from beside him. All right, I'm going to sleep since you don't want to sleep. With that, Mu Qiqi took a few steps forward when Sheng Xiao suddenly hugged her from behind. Little one, is it so hard to just say I want it? I'm a girl. I'm always embarrassed. Sheng Xiao turned the little one's body around and quickly unbuttoned her pajamas. This little one's figure was getting more and more pleasing to the eye. Of course, it felt good too. You're already an old married couple. Why are you still so shy? Sheng Xiao put her on the bed, pressed her hands down, and raised them above her head. Mu Qiqi looked at the man's muscular chest unnaturally. She blushed reflexively. She hoped that she would always treat Xiao Xiao like how he was when they first fell in love. She hoped that they would always keep each other fresh. That way, she would feel that she loved this person more and more. She would not feel bored after getting used to it. I'm leaving tomorrow. I really want to bring you along. Those were Mu Qiqi's last words before she fell asleep. At the very least, he understood that his little one was reluctant to leave him. On the next day, the Sheng family did not know that Sheng Xiao was about to be interviewed by a magazine. They were still trying to smooth things over in the business world, as if Zhongting's glory was all thanks to Huang Yao. Someone in the business partners praised old Sheng, saying that he had groomed several good grandsons. Now, the Sheng family was not just a diamond empire. Their reach had broadened, and the group would grow stronger and have a brighter future. Just a few days ago, the old man had hated Shang Xiao. But now, he was using Shang Xiao again, just like before. His annoying personality had not changed at all. Meanwhile, a reporter from Financial Magazine had arrived at Zhongting's guest room. After all, today's interview will be held there. The reporter sent by the magazine was a woman. It must be said that she was very excited to meet this legend. At 10 in the morning, Shang Xiao ended an important meeting and entered the guest room. Meanwhile, the reporter from the Financial Magazine had made all the necessary preparations and was just waiting for Shang Xiao to enter. Of course, Shang Xiao had personally reviewed the contents of the interview. That was why he was very clear about the specifics of today's interview. Still, the reporters did not expect Mu Chi-Chi to come in with him. The 19-year-old girl did not appear young at all when she stood beside Shang Xiao. It was as if they were one. She had short, medium hair and fluffy bangs. It was said that the tattoo on her ear was Shang Zhao's English name. Chief Shang, we can start now. Mu Chi-Chi let go of Shang Zhao's hand at the reporter's words and walked behind the cameraman. After all, she wanted to see Shang Zhao's most handsome side. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Shang Xiao, the CEO of Zhongting, as a guest of our magazine and to be interviewed by us. Your story is now regarded as a legend, and everyone is curious as to what you have gone through in the short span of 6 months. How did you manage to make a company that no one is familiar with soar in such a short time? Can you share with us what you've been through in the past 6 months? Shang Xiao smiled at the question and answered, "Actually, it was my father-in-law who proposed Zhongting. He asked me if I was interested in developing into a military enterprise, and we did it without hesitation. In the last 6 months, I wasn't living a dispirited life like everyone thinks I am. I've been busy looking at products, meeting clients, and running into the headache-inducing problems that most managers would face. As for Zhongting's meteoric rise, I think it's because of the timing. It's because the domestic market is still very empty, and my father-in-law has a unique vision. He saw the business opportunity. So, Zhongting has been growing and developing under very little pressure. Shang Xiao kept mentioning Shun Jianchuan, but there was only one reason. The establishment of Zhongting had nothing to do with Huang Yao or the Sheng family, because Shun Jianchuan was the one who proposed it from start to finish. Then, did your father-in-law or the Shun family participate in Zhongting's development? The Shun family had always encouraged me when the rumors about me were spreading, shielding me from the storm so that I would not have to worry about anything and could expand my business. I'm very grateful to everyone in the Shun family. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.